ball's going to be recovered and scoring a touchdown for the Mountain Lions.
Elliott to the outside, to the 50-yard line. Here comes Deontay to the near boundary. Sits on the tackle, down the sideline.
Number 9, superstar Georgie Ramirez.
The ball's caught for the 2-point conversion by Ramses Rivera. We are tied at 54 apiece in triple overtime. A pleasant good evening from the Parker & Sons press box high atop Red Mountain High School for Red Mountain football on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network East Valley Region game tonight as the Mountain Lions play host to the Westwood Warriors. Hello everybody, I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside my broadcast partner James Poovey. Tonight the 8-1 Mountain Lions seeking their 8th consecutive win. They're playing at home. This is game number 10 on the 10-game docket. They host the Westwood Warriors. Westwood coming in with a record of 2-7. They are 0-4 in the East Valley region. And for Red Mountain and head coach Mike Peterson, winners of the East Valley region 3 consecutive years now, and they've won 14 straight games in the region, which is the longest streak in the state of Arizona, any classification. Red Mountain playing at home. They've got unfinished business with really the entire 6A conference and all the pundits and all the people that want to put together the Super 8.
Yeah, it's going to come down tomorrow morning when they have the bracket release show, and then we'll find out exactly what how the chips fall. Red Mountain is really playing well right now. They've been playing well all season. 8-1, as you mentioned. The only loss on the season, a quadruple overtime loss to Perry here at Red Mountain High School by 1 point. So this team, all they can do right now, Kevin, is take care of business on the football field, get the W tonight, and everything's going to shake out, the algorithms and the personal opinions and all that sort of stuff tomorrow, and we'll find out what's going to happen for next week.
It's just simple. The dominoes will fall where they fall. And if Red Mountain's in the dance, they'll be in the dance. If not, they're going to put all of their efforts towards winning a 6A state championship. So we'll see what happens for Mike Peterson's team. But tonight, a couple of changes for you. Georgie Ramirez will not play tonight. He won't even suit up. He's nursing a tender ankle, so we'll see Georgie back in the first week of the second season. We will also play without Max Bray tonight, the long snapper. He should be back next week. Hopefully, we'll see Skylar Edmonds back in the lineup tonight as He is back from that undisclosed illness, so Skylar Edmonds will see some time tonight. Ethan Peterson will suit up, but he won't go unless it's an emergency type situation. And with a extremely disappointing thought process here, and with my own personal heavy heart, we have to say goodbye to one of our players. We lose Ramses Rivera, a violation of team rules. He's been dismissed from the football team, and it's unfortunate because Ramses Rivera was one touchdown reception away from becoming, or at least tying, the all-time touchdown record as a receiver. And we'll have to play the remainder of the season without number 4 and without the Rocket.
Well, very unfortunate for the football team indeed, the loss of Ramses Rivera. You know, he was very productive this season, and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. We need him for the playoffs, and unfortunately we're not going to have him.
Jared Wilson from his own 5 out across the 35-yard line, cuts it back inside to the 40-yard line, is going to be tackled right there. And we are underway here on senior night. We welcome you to the first game in November. It is an absolute gorgeous evening here in East Mesa, home of the Red Mountain Lions. Kickoff at 7:03 p.m. tonight. And I mentioned this fall weather. It is breathtaking. 67 degrees here at kickoff. Hiram Bourne back in the lineup at quarterback. He wears number 7. He's the senior, and he's got 15 touchdown passes against 2 picks. And the first carry of the game is a handoff to Deontay Elliott, and Elliott loses its footing right away, and that is an inauspicious way to start, James, but let's get you set up. Ben Bray returns to the lineup at left tackle, an East Valley Region first-teamer. He's a 4-year starter. He's a commit to ASU. Bourne back up the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 for the 39-yard line. They go to a sweep to Elliott. Elliott breaks to the outside, 50. Down the sideline, 40. And he's still on his feet. 30, 10, 5, touchdown, Deontay Elliott. There is a penalty marker on the field around the 46-yard line. It looks to be coming back. I thought maybe Elliott would have stepped out of bounds, but he stayed in line, and he really tight-roped that sideline and took it to the house. And got to tell you, the play stopped, and we stopped.
Yeah, he did a great job tiptoeing down the sideline there, was able to stay in bounds. I didn't see any official signaling out of bounds, but at the end of the play, there was a flag on there, and looks like a holding is the call, so it's going to all come back.
Oh, man. Take away a huge play. For Red Mountain, they had 5 penalties for, check that, they had 8 penalties for 35 yards last week in that win over Mesa. And of those 8 penalties, 4 of those were costly as they return huge plays. So this one, a 60-yard touchdown taken off the scoreboard. Ty McElroy back in the lineup. He's flanked to the right of Hiram Bourne. It's Bourne on a play fake to the 40, 45, 50. Down the sideline, 40, 30, 20. Still on his feet. Hiram Bourne is in the 5-yard line and is going to be brought down there. A touchdown-saving tackle by the Westwood Warriors. Number 14 on that play. Check that, Corin Brantley Ellis. I saw that 4 in there, and Ellis comes up with a touchdown-saving tackle. It was Ledesma Herman also in the area there, but wow, what a run there by Hiram Bourne.
Outstanding job. The offensive line caving down the outside, blocking down, and Hiram Bourne just off to the races. One guy to beat before he was in the end zone.
The same sideline that Deontay just housed one. 52-yard run by Bourne. This is the tailback this time. Looked like T-Mac getting the carry. We'll see some running back play out of Josiah Villanueva. Big game last week for Josiah. We'll see Nas Bryant at tailback here tonight. Red Mountain wearing their black home jerseys with the Cardinal pants. That nice two-tone look here tonight at home. Opening quarter, opening drive. Ball spotted on the 10-yard line. 2nd and 8 for Hiram Bourne, working out of the shotgun. Bourne back to throw. Looks right, throws right, ball's caught. Jackson Beecher. Jackson Beecher with a touchdown, an 8-yard reception. His 4th touchdown reception of the season for JB. Touchdown pass number 16 for Hiram Bourne.
Nice little job there on the outside. Beautiful protection up front from the offensive line. Hiram Bourne just drops back, able to set his feet. Throw it to the outside to Jackson Beecher. He just turns around and takes it right up the field for the end zone touchdown. Nice job.
Didn't even have an opportunity to set you up with that offensive line. And boy, did they give Hiram Bourne some protection on that throw. Ben Bray, the left tackle, we mentioned him. Isaiah Artis at left guard with a PAT. The snap is down. And the kick is up, and it is good. Right in between the uprights. Point after try is good. 10:26 to go in this opening quarter. Our score, Red Mountain 7, Westwood 0. This center tonight is Carson Cooley. Carson Foster at right guard, and the right tackle is Big Jake Griffin, 6'5", 265 on the season. Our starting wideouts were Jared Wilson, Jackson Beecher, and the tailback was Deontay Elliott. So Elliott sat down the last couple of plays after he went 60 yards, and then here it is. A touchdown pass for Hiram Bourne. Beautiful ball, and good hands there by Jackson Beecher. And when the defender is going to take a gamble like that and he gets behind the secondary, that's a walk-in touchdown for Jackson Beecher.
Yeah, defender trying to jump that route a little bit there, but Jackson Beecher with excellent body position there. A nice job pulling the ball in, securing the catch, and then turning upfield, making a great football move, and then into the end zone for the touchdown.
That's the 28th reception of the year for Jackson Beecher. Now all career highs at this point, in the money for Jackson Beecher. So it'll be Connor Gardner on for the kickoff. Ball spotted on the 40-yard line. That's where CG11 will tee it up. And Gardner boots this one to the left side. Going to be taken around the 5 to the 10, 15, down the sideline. And Westwood's return man will get bottled up and brought down. Making the play was Ryan Grossklaus. On the return man, that was Joshua McClintock. McClintock, 5'10", 185. He'll be featured in this offense for Kyle Hyde and the Westwood Warriors. And for Ross Grossklaus, you're going to see an awful lot of him. He's going to start in the secondary. His first career start alongside Gannon Lyles. Again, no Georgie Ramirez tonight. He's out, and Georgie should be back in the lineup next week.
That was a great special teams play there for Grossklaus. An excellent way for him to start the football game.
Gavin Letourneau gets the start at quarterback for Kyle Hyde's Westwood Warriors. They run the football on the first play of the game, and they run right into Parker McClure, and also big number 88 right there, Trey the Truth Smith, all over that play. Last week, James, the game started like this. It was a kickoff by Connor Gardner as the touchback. Then the Red Mountain defense went 3 and out, got the rock. I think they went 3 offensive plays. And then Deontay Elliott scores touchdown number 15 on the season for him, 28 yards later at 7-0. And really, Red Mountain didn't look back at that point.
No, a solid performance last night for them last week against against Mesa. And they'll continue that here this evening.
Good chance to introduce you to our AIA officiating crew here tonight on the first day of November. Steve Hall is the referee. Our line judge is John Tomsick. The back judge is Rob Stevens. Our umpire is Tom Wolbear, and the head linesman is Ricky Rubelid. Rubelid is our head linesman tonight, our AIA officiating crew. So Westwood will be backed up 5 yards. They run a sweep, and there is nowhere to go at all. Absolutely no real estate at all. Jared Butler was the first guy through there, and he comes out celebrating with a TFL for Jared Butler.
Excellent play that time for Butler, able to extend those hands. He stayed home, did not overrun the play. As soon as he saw that it was going up the middle, he crashed back down inside and made the play. Outstanding job.
This will be a 3rd and long upcoming for Gavin Letourneau. Letourneau's a sophomore at 6'1", 182, 50% completion percentage on 1,259 yards. He has 12 touchdown passes up against 4 picks. That's a solid ratio for Letourneau. Under pressure, here comes Big Jake on the backside. Letourneau to the sideline. He'll throw one down the field, and the ball is going to be incomplete. Making the reception out of bounds for Westwood was number 7, Derek Trey Haynes, but he was literally not even on the playing field. And so pressure by Jake Griffin give Jake a hurry, and the Red Mountain defense doing a nice job here in their first series on the field here for Kyle Enders.
Another great job that time for Jake Griffin. They showed blitz that time. They had Major Kelly coming up to the line showing blitz there, and then Jake Griffin was able to knife through that blitz and force the quarterback out of the pocket, and he was pursuing him all the way to the sideline.
Back there in punt formation is Corwin Brantley Ellis. And he puts one high and up. And Jared Wilson's going to let it take a Westwood Warrior roll. They're going to touch it down at the 30-yard line. That's where Ledesma Herman will touch it down. Herman, a 5'9" sophomore for head coach Kyle Hyde. We mentioned Westwood 2-7. They're 0-4 in the East Valley region. And last year in 2018, Kyle Hyde was their East Valley Region Coach of the Year. I got to be honest with you. I think this year, Michael Peterson deserves that recognition for his second time. Of course, Pete won it back in 2017, so he has that recognition. But I think a magnificent job for Mike Peterson under crazy circumstances all season long for this head coach.
Yeah, he's had a lot to deal with this year, and that sort of stuff continues. But Coach Peterson able to keep his focus and keep these guys focused as well, and they got their eyes on the prize right now.
There goes Nas Bryant free, and Nas Bryant's going to be forced out of bounds around the 33-yard line. But again, another great seal on the edge by the right side of that line. Carson Foster, Jake Griffin doing a fantastic job, and Nas Bryant showing you that game-breaking speed that he has before Jerron Small Canyon was there to impede the racing ability of Nas Bryant. And holy smokes, another touchdown-saving tackle for the Warriors here in this third series. Bourne to the air, going deep, ball caught, and taking it in and scoring a touchdown. Will they put him up? It's Jared Wilson, and yes, indeed, they put him up. A touchdown pass. The second of the game for Hiram Bourne, and the first reception of the night for Jay Willie, Jared Wilson.
What an outstanding play once again for the Red Mountain offense. Great protection up front again. That protection spurred by number 54, Jake Griffin, retreating and providing excellent pass protection for the blitzer. The quarterback able to roll out to his left-hand side. Hiram Bourne keep his shoulder square and throw the ball down the field to Jared Wilson, who turned around, made a beautiful catch, and into the end zone for another score.
How about it for Jared Wilson? Jay Willie, oh so smooth, picks up reception number 41 for Jared Wilson, and he now has 6 touchdown receptions to tie Ramses Rivera. Point after try up and through for Connor Gardner. He's true again, 2 for 2 tonight. It's 14-0 with 8:24 to go in this first quarter. 2 possessions for Red Mountain's offense, 2 touchdown passes for Hiram Bourne. He now has 17 on the season.
Well, it's all about efficiency right now for Coach Peterson and this Red Mountain offense. They're doing a great job. They want to get up here, maybe get a nice lead established, and they'll probably start getting some of the younger guys into the game tonight and get them some valuable varsity reps here this evening.
Nas Bryant set that all up, James, with a 37-yard run. That was before Small Canyon knocked him out of bounds. But we've talked about Nas Bryant before last week, just getting a few chances to carry the ball, and he shows you a lot of game-breaking speed. He runs effortlessly, and he's tough.
Well, that one on the sideline here, they never even got him to the ground. He broke about maybe 5 or 6 tackles on the way down the near sideline here, and Nas Bryant, very elusive, tough to get down.
To our guys' credit, they've been running just like crazy, right? This with their pants on fire, if you will, and they're elusive, and it's a tough group to get down. But I got to say, the tackling in the East Valley region is just poor, too. It's just not very good. There's a return by the Westwood Warriors. Here comes down the field. It's Joshua McClintock at midfield, and it's going to be taken out of bounds by the kicker, Connor Gardner. His 3rd tackle in his career, his 2nd of the season for Connor Gardner.
CG doing a great job there. Outstanding tackle there on the edge for the special teams unit.
So nice job there by Connor Gardner. And you got to love Connor Gardner, the attitude and the ferocity that he plays this game of tackle football. He's one of those young men that loves to play the game. I've talked about this many times. He's a guy that wants his balls receiving. He wants his routes to be run. He wants his work. He wants to work on the practice team, whatever he can to get better. Connor Gardner's out there. You're going to see him tonight with the depleted wide receiver core here. No Anthony Carrington. Story on AC here coming up, but nice job there by Connor Gardner, and an even better job by this officiating team to send him back after that holding penalty.
Yes, indeed. A great job by Connor Gardner, and he is one tough football player.
Yes, he is. And taking the rock that time is their lead tailback. This is Joshua McClintock. He's their bell cow, 5'10", 185, coming into play tonight, 158 touches, 784 on the ground. That's a 5-point yard per carry average. He's got 3 100-yard games, and he scored 5 touchdowns. So if you give him the body of work, Joshua McClintock can beat you.
Yeah, he's an impressive player for Westwood.
One time last week, we saw the Mesa Jackrabbits. They had 11 consecutive run plays en route to their 21 points. So teams could possibly run on Red Mountain if they stay at it. Again, it's McClintock once again, and McClintock's going to be tackled on that last side. That is Parker McClure up there. Parker McClure, 10 tackles last week. He has another tackle here tonight. He is well on his way to 100 tackles. He's now has 75 on the season.
Well, McClure's been one of the leaders on this Red Mountain defense all year long for Coach Kyle Enders, and he just continues to perform out on the football field.
14-0 Red Mountain, opening quarter, working right to left of the Westwood Warriors. The Warriors wearing their whites, trimmed in orange and blue with their orange helmets. Letourneau back to throw. He throws far sideline. The ball is incomplete. Making a bid on that play was safety Ross Grossklaus, getting that start at safety for Georgia Ramirez tonight, and that will mean that Westwood will be forced to bring on the punt team once again as Jared Wilson will retreat back. Check that, Ryan, if you will. There it is.
Yeah, the defense right now is just coming for Red Mountain. The quarterback for Westwood, Letourneau, doesn't have a whole lot of time to even find an open receiver.
Corin Bramley Ellis once again back deep. He's 5'10", $150. And it gets a good snap. Here comes the rush. And it's a low line drive kick, but it's effective. Jay Woolley will go back around the 26-yard line to retrieve it. Makes a move up the sideline to the 30. Cuts back towards the middle of the field. Sidesteps a guy and it gets dropped to the turf. He's spilled over by the special teams play of 23, Victor Sanchez. For Sanchez, that is a nice job of an open field tackle. And boy, we talk about Jared Wilson and his ability to get sideways and get skinny at the right time. He just does it over and over again.
Showed a little shiftiness there, did he? Sliding around those tackles, doing a great job, not only on offense for Red Mountain, but on special teams as well.
Nas Bryant flanked to the left of Hiram Bourne. To his right is Ty McElroy, and Daniel Butler lines up to the near side at wide receiver. This is Ty McElroy on a sweep, and he cuts it back inside, and then Ty's going to be grabbed and then tackled right near the 42-yard line. JP, you tell me what you saw there. It looked like the entire left side was open had T-Mac continued to run towards the boundary, but for some reason he decided to cut it back towards that hash mark, and they cut that run short. Yeah,
you're exactly right. He had a lead blocker that time, number 6, Nas Brown on the edge there, who had great position. He got on the outside of the defender, and all the running back had to do was just stay to the outside, but miscue there, stepping inside for Ty McElroy.
Bourne with a rollout to the near side on that boot. It throws a beautiful ball right on the money to Jackson Beecher for JB, his second reception of the night, his 29th of the season for Jackson Beecher. That one's good for about 13 yards and a first down for the Mountain Lions. So the ball spotted on the Westwood 49-yard line. This is the third drive of the night for the Mountain Lions. They've been in Westwood territory all 3 times. Bourne out of the gun on a play fake. Looking near side, throws. The ball's a little bit too high that time for Daniel the Beast Butler. And for the first time you see an unforced error there for Hyman Bourne. He had all kinds of time. Didn't quite get his feet set on that one. Just let it fly. And that arm strength of his, that ball just sailed on him that time.
Yeah, that one uncatchable, unfortunately, on the near sideline. Hiram Bourne will get that fixed, and he's usually very accurate for these Mountain Lions.
Westwood is 1-3 away from Westwood High School. They've been outscored 320 to 141 in their 9 games. 2nd and 10 from the 49-yard line. This is Deontay Elliott. Elliott bounce it to the outside at the 50. They're going to grab him and stand him up and then just bring him down to the turf on the 50-yard line. No gain that time for Deontay Elliott. Looked like 55 was over there. Kane Courtney in there amongst 2 of his other teammates. But Courtney, a defensive end, a junior, 6'3", 235. That's his 32nd tackle of the season.
Yeah, Courtney got Deontay Elliott by the back of the jersey, and he refused to let go and ended up making the tackle, doing a nice job on defense there for the Warriors.
The senior Ty McElroy will jog off here for this play. Again, ball spotted on the 49-yard line, 3rd and 10 from that spot. Bourne in it, quarterback, 2x2 wide receivers. Bourne to the air, ball's caught underneath. It's Jackson Beecher, slipped one tackle at the 42-yard line. He'll take it to the 41-yard line, and I think he's got the first down. James, that's a nice throw by Hiram Bourne. That time he got his feet set and threw a strike right in stride with Jackson Beecher, and he's coming in a big way as JB.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pitch and catch there for Hiram Bourne to Jackson Beecher, a little slant route, and he put it right on his numbers.
Beecher, another 10-yard reception. Josiah Vienaway with a typhoon has stepped into this ball game. They fake it to him. Bourne over the middle. The ball is caught by Wilson. And Wilson again, makes the first man miss, and he'll lunge forward inside the 30-yard line. Second catch of the night for Jared Wilson, and Hiram Bourne is starting off this game. He is 4 for 5 passing the football. He's been right on the target outside of that one throw to Jackson Beecher.
Yeah, Hiram Bourne right now is really getting it dialed in here for Red Mountain.
Bourne, 11-yard pass play to Jared Wilson. Again, he goes to the far side of the field. Ball's caught, and I think that's Beecher once again. For Beecher, making his third reception of the night, and now Bourne's now 5 of 6. And that ball was, again, thrown high, and Jackson Beecher, using a lot of that body of his at 6'3", was able to get up there and high point that one and just bring it in and secure the rock.
Well, I'll tell you what, number 8, Jackson Beecher, and number 14, Jared Wilson, are going to be very critical components to this Red Mountain success going into the playoffs.
Bourne completions to Beecher for 10, Wilson for 11, and that time to Beecher again for 11. First and 10 from the Warriors' 17-yard line. Shotgun formation. There goes Skidmore in motion. Boy, these uniforms look tight. They run the football. Turning it upfield and running it into the end zone. Untouched for a touchdown is Deontay Elliott. Touchdown number 16 on the season for Deontay. That one good from 17 yards away. Untouched. Great blocks up the middle by Costin Cooley and Carson Foster, and literally nobody touched him as he just glided into the end zone for the 16th time this season. Have a night, Deontay Elliott.
Little zone stretch up front. Excellent blocking by the offensive line. Deontay Elliott using his patience, and then a little acceleration and a gallop step right there through the crease, and he was off to the end zone.
For Deontay, 16 touchdowns. That's good for 6th in the 6A conference. And Connor Gardner's point after try this time is no good. So the perfection stops here at the 3:49 mark. It's 20-0. Mountain Lions here on a night that's just glorious. It's a half moon out, and you can see that Red Mountain, not knowing what their fate is as it relates to where they'll play in a playoff game next week. Will they be on the road at Chandler in that 8th seed in the Super 8? Could they somehow vault all the way to the 7th spot and play somebody else? Or will they be playing a game right here at home at Red Mountain High School in the 6A conference? Either way, it really looms to be quite an exciting next 24 hours.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. I'm very looking forward to tomorrow morning. I'm going to try to make it over there for that bracket release show over there at Dave & Buster's in Tempe tomorrow morning after the radio show. So we'll see. It's going to be exciting. Whatever happens, like we said earlier, whatever happens, they're just going to play football. They're going to play Red Mountain football. Whoever they get is whoever they get.
That's exactly right. Back deep again is Joshua McClintock. Also back deep there is Johnny Collier. That's Manny's little brother. The ball is fumbled by McClintock. Fumbled, and the ball is still loose. Let's find out who comes up with the rock. Cody McLaughlin down there in the mix. And in that scrum was Bryce Stahl, but the ball ultimately is recovered by McClintock, who fumbled the ball. So little Lady Luck falls into the side of the Westwood Warriors here. They trail it 20-0 to Kyle Hyde's team. 3:44 to go, opening stanza here. It's been all Red Mountain, and Hiram Bourne has been absolutely studly here in this first half. We'll get you the keys of the game here in a quick moment here. This first quarter is just blowing by. This is Collier here. Collier to the outside, down the sideline, 30, 40, look out, 50, one man to beat, 40, cuts it back across the field, 30. Johnny Collier still on his feet, 20, 15, 10, angles to the pylon, 5, dives, touchdown, Johnny Collier. 79-yard house call for Westwood's Johnny Collier. And the Warriors claw back with a big play in their own right.
What an outstanding play that time for Westwood. First of all, there was an outstanding clean-out block right about the 30-yard line of Westwood there. One of the Red Mountain defenders just got absolutely waylaid as Collier takes it up the near sideline and then breaks another set of ankles here at the 30 on his way to the opposite pylon. What a run.
Johnny Collier, his longest run of the season. Before that carry, he had 15 totes for $129. His big ticket is receiving the football. He has 8 touchdowns. That's his first rushing touchdown of the season. And they get the snap down. The kick is up, and it is just over the upright here. So with 3:27 to go in this first quarter, it's Red Mountain 20, Westwood 7. And as we mentioned, our keys to the game on defense, it starts at the top each and every week. And I know that there's a gasser coming up after that one. Any play over 15 yards in the Mountain Lions are going to do some gassers. Well, they got a gasser coming up here on Monday. But on defense, yes, limit big plays if you can. Continue to work on communication. This team's bored, folks. They've been playing the East Valley region. They're buzzsawing everybody. They're working on refining their game. They're working on getting better, working on communication, trying guys in different types of positions, working on developing depth. It's like spring training when a starter gets walked and he says, well, I'm working on mechanics. My location was good. My command was good. I just got hit today. Red Mountain's doing something very similar in this manner, James.
Yeah, just trying to reorganize everything and kind of reshuffle the deck a little bit, if you will, right before the playoffs get started. But it's a fine line, too. You got to kind of stay with the formula and the plan that got you to this successful level at 8-1 this year. So Coach Peterson and the staff kind of walking that fine line, if you will.
The other key to the game on defense was to post a donut, and that was just an idea. They tried the surprise element. They onside it. Bryce Stahl's right there to make the recovery, and he's going to be tackled immediately by Carlos Hernandez. But how about the big playability by Johnny Collier? He's the younger brother of Manny Collier. I think I said this a time or two last season when we played Westwood. Number 6, Manny Collier, who was the East Valley Region Player of the Year. So this guy's no slouch. For me, for my money on what I saw in the 6A conference, the 5A conference, he was pound for pound the toughest player in the 6A conference at 155 pounds. Manny Collier was.
Yes.
You saw his brother right there. Bourne back to work, going to throw the ball again. Steps up in the pocket, delivers downfield. He's got Wilson. The ball's caught in stride. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Jared Wilson. 66 yards from Hiram Bourne. And that's the second touchdown of the night for Jared Wilson. The third touchdown pass for Hiram Bourne. And Hiram Bourne walks off the field shaking his head saying, this game is just too easy, my friends. Holy smokes, what a play call there by Tabor Lamar.
Excellent protection up front. A corner route that time for Jared Wilson. And a beautifully thrown football by Hiram Bourne. He had to throw it out a little ways past Jared Wilson so he could extend those long arms and pull that football in right on time, right in stride. A beautiful play there for the Mountain Lions.
Jared Wilson, his 7th touchdown reception. He's taken over the team lead from the Rocket. And for Hiram Bourne, 18 touchdown passes up against 2 picks. You got to love that ratio. QB rating spiking. The needle is right there at the top, man. Just boom. Looking good. Hiram Bourne. Point after try this time is good. 3:23 to go in this opening quarter. It's 27-7 Red Mountain. Holy smokes. We'd think we'd like to take a timeout, but we won't. Let's get back to the Red Mountain keys of the game. Offense. Welcome back, Hiram Bourne, right?
Yeah, he has been welcome back.
Protect the rock. Refine balance with the pass and run game. We've seen a little bit of that here tonight. Special teams, Connor Gardner doing his thing, making kicks and throwing kickoffs. CG11 has 38 touchbacks to lead the 6A conference. My impact players of the game, here they are. Hiram Bourne at quarterback, number 1. Number 2, Nas Bryant. And defensively, I like Parker McClure tonight. We try to pick up somebody new every week, but Hiram didn't play last week. And Hiram Bourne is just picking up where he left off. He has been on absolute fire.
Yeah, you know, he was chomping at the bit to get in there last week, and he has come back today with a great bit of exuberance, and he's very excited to get this game going and also get this going into the playoffs.
That was a 2-play drive. Actually, it was a 1-play drive there for Hiram Bourne. Ball's fumbled by McCormick, and he takes it right up the middle, splitting that defense just a little bit. And the fumble there, creating a little bit of delay for the Red Mountain defense. And McCormick, check that. McClintock picked that ball up and got through there, and it was finally tripped up there. So Westwood trailing 27-7. They score on a long run, a 79-yarder for Johnny Collier, then only to come back on the very next play, the ensuing play, as they say. 66 yards to Jared Wilson. And Jared Wilson, 2 touchdowns tonight, 1 more for him, and he'll have the hat trick. And Hiram Bourne already has the trifecta throwing the football. They run it up the middle. This is 23 for Westwood. That is Victor Sanchez. And making the tackle on Sanchez It looked like it was Tyler Brown right there, 75 all over that play.
Yes, indeed. Tyler Brown, the sophomore, 5'8", 193, doing a good job there at that 3 technique for Red Mountain.
Red Mountain averaging 47 points a game. That's good for 3rd in the 6A conference. On the flip side of things, for Westwood, 14 points a game. That's 31st in the 6A conference. They don't score a lot, and when they do it in a big way. And you've seen that here tonight with Johnny Collier. And again, they run it right up the middle. Some hard-earned running there for Victor Sanchez. And Parker McClure right there to snuff that play out for the Mike Backer spot.
Westwood doing a good job up front right now. Their offensive line right now on this drive is getting a great push. Number 51, Robert Lucero, 5'10", 240. He is just doing a great job up front, getting movement and moving those defensive linemen off the spot.
Gavin Letourneau under center. They give it to Collier on that sweep again to the edge. There goes Johnny Collier at the 50-yard line, and it's going to be dropped at the 48-yard line by Daniel Butler. The Beast took him on head on, and that's a great job of tackling. It kind of looked like George Ramirez in the sense that Daniel Butler just stood in there, shoulder pad to shoulder pad, and got his man down. Textbook tackle.
Very Georgie-esque, if you will, there for Daniel Butler. A great job there, and a nice collision there just about the 47-yard line.
Give Johnny Collier another 11-yard run off that reverse. And for Collier, he's just a couple of yards away from a 100-yard night here on just 2 totes. Lining up to the far side is the wide receiver, Derek Haynes. They run it again up the middle on a short yardage play and a quick hitter. Same tailback again, Victor Sanchez. For Sanchez, 46 for 193 entering play tonight. And last week he had 8 carries for 41 yards. He did have 2 receptions for 30 yards, so he had 10 touches last week. No gain. Well, they're going to give him about a yard. So 2nd and 9 on the 46-yard line. Final minute 22 winds off the Longines scoreboard here in quarter number 1. Collier lines up to the edge here. Cole Shivers in there in the quarterback spot. This is the quarterback. He throws, and the ball's picked off. It's intercepted on the far sideline. Looks like McClure again. Who is it? Penalty marker on the return. Yeah, back-to-back weeks, Parker McClure comes up with the football. He had an interception last week, and he's got another one here tonight. 2 takeaways in 2 weeks for Parker McClure.
What a great job there. Parker McClure on the interception for Red Mountain, but that one started in the backfield that time. Number 88, Trey Smith, and 54, Jake Griffin, flushing Letourneau out of the pocket, nowhere to go with it. He forced a throw into heavy coverage, and Parker McClure right there for the easy interception.
An ill-advised throw for Letourneau. He doesn't turn the ball over very much. Just his 5th interception. He has 1 fumble as well, but that's 6 turnovers for the sophomore quarterback, Gavin Letourneau, and that is key. He's just a sophomore, folks, so Westwood has got some younger players in position right now, and they're learning on the fly here, trailing 27-7 here with 59.6 to go in this opening quarter. 4th possession of the night. Red Mountain has scored touchdowns in all 3 possessions here this evening. They run it to Elliott. Little stutter step, break through the hole. There he goes, 40, 50, look out, speed. Bounce it outside, 40, down the sideline, 30. And Deontay Elliott's going to be wrapped up inside the 20-yard line. Another touchdown saving tackle there by the Westwood Warriors. And right now the Mountain Lions are all big play here, just gashing the Westwood defense as Ledesma Herman right there to save the day again. And another huge run for Deontay Elliott.
Herman even took a little bit of a blow on the outside there as Deontay was finishing that run on the far sideline, but what a tote there for Deontay Elliott.
46 yards, lumbering down the sideline with speed, and that burst of speed through the line of scrimmage again, right next to the hole that was created by Ben Bray, a 4-year starter, and ASU Sun Devil commit Benny Bray. Bourne on the shotgun snap, wants to throw back towards the field. This could be a screenplay, and they run a tight end screen back towards 64 the lineman tackle eligible. This is Ben Bray. So right on the cue, Ben Bray makes a catch. You don't see 64 out there running routes, but that time he did there.
I was waiting for you to say Ben Bray out in the flat there.
Well, you had to be sure that, again, I want to make
had
sure.
To do a double take.
I'm seeing what I'm seeing, and Ben Bray makes his first career reception here tonight as a member of this Mountain Lion football team, and he catches it from Hiram Bourne.
The question is, will he get an official reception? Because I don't know if they gained any yards on the play.
Bunch formation, they run it to Elliott. Elliott free again, second level, turn, spin, still on his feet, and Elliott going to drive towards the 5-yard line. Deontay Elliott running with a lot of authority, and his field vision is excellent, and that second level is in big trouble right now because the linebackers in the secondary are seeing Deontay a little bit too much here in this first quarter.
Yeah, they don't want to see him at all. If at all possible, they want that defensive line to shut it down. But I know we've talked about it before, how Deontay Elliott's kind of like Barry Sanders. He just looks like it again there as he comes upon traffic. He secures that football, starts lowering his center of gravity, and starts making a move. He spun out of about 2 tackles there on that run. What a play.
Boy,
jeez,
we'd like to send out an APB out on our spotter, Kane. You guys see Kane. Kane was here for about 6 minutes, and he's already
Kane's at Kane's.
He's already punched out here tonight, but 19-yard run there for Deontay Elliott, the final play of the first quarter. Back-to-back runs there for 46 and 19 yards for Deontay Elliott, already scoring his 16th touchdown. And when you kind of do the math on that yardage coming into the night, for Deontay Elliott, 78 carries, 695. He's well over 700 yards tonight. He's approaching 800, 16 touchdowns. But if you do the math right there, about every 5.5 touches, Deontay Elliott houses one. That's a staggering statistic. It's mind-blowing. Deontay Elliott is a big play threat any time he gets the rock in his hands.
Every time he gets the rock. Indeed, Kevin. All he needs is that slightest little crease you saw on that touchdown run over here. He waited, the crease opened up, he hit the gas, a little gallop step, and he was off.
Bourne to the air, rolls to the far side. He's going to throw towards the end zone. Back of the end zone, ball caught. Touchdown, Red Mountain. Drake Bourne on the receiving end of that one. So the Bourne to Bourne connection. This time it's Pater Pops, touchdown Mountain Lions.
How about that? That is so cool to see that. Hiram Bourne throwing it out into the corner of the end zone to Drake Bourne. An excellent reception there. Beautiful protection once again up front. I have to mention it. That's part of the play. And Red Mountain just rolling right now.
Bourne, another accurate pass. He rifled it into the back corner of the end zone. His brother makes the catch. Just the second catch in his career, the first varsity touchdown reception for Drake Bourne, the 4th touchdown pass of the first quarter and some change for Hiram Bourne. He now has 19 touchdown passes, and Red Mountain is in cruise control here with 11:54 to go to halftime. I mentioned to one of the coaches, well, I don't know how the dominoes are going to fall in this Super 8, but the only thing that you can do is control you. Why don't you go put up 70 on Westwood and make some of these people think about this, because Red Mountain belongs in the Super 8. Whether they get there or not, they belong.
Yeah, they do belong in the Super 8. They've been one of the top teams all year. Again, 1 point, Kevin. 1 point. That's it. In 4 overtimes. But again, part of the problem with the formula is that it doesn't give credit for a quality loss, which is exactly what a quadruple overtime 1-point loss to Perry is.
(34-7). Connor Gardner, 4 for 5 tonight and point after tries. He'll tee this one up at the 40-yard line. It's senior night here, so we'd like to recognize Deontay Elliott, Hiram Bourne, and Jackson Beecher. Those 3 seniors on the offense, along with Connor Gardner and Jared Wilson, Ty McElroy. We thank you guys for your service, your contribution, and what you've done here for Mountain Lion football. Major Kelly, Carson Foster, Isaiah Artis, Benny Bray, Carlson Cooley, Kamal Nasser, and MJ Henning. A tip of the cap, guys. We can't do it without you and what you do each and every day as a member of this Mountain Lion football team. It's special.
Yeah, this is a very special team to me personally, because this is my 4th year on the broadcast with you, Kevin, and a lot of these guys that are seniors here tonight were freshmen during my first year here at the program, so it's pretty awesome.
That's one cool thing, is that you turn over new bodies and new faces, but the people in place, it's a great, great group, and I've said this on several times before, several broadcasts. Parents should commend themselves, give themselves a round of applause because they do an admirable job of raising these student athletes. It's phenomenal to watch them go to work. All right, Skylar Edmonds has checked in. He's on that outside linebacker spot, showing blitz right now. Let's see if they want to go after Gavin Letourneau. Long count for Westwood, and I think they might have used too much time, JP. In fact, Kyle Lyde recognizes that, and they take the timeout, and a smart timeout, and we'll take the timeout with them. You're watching Red Mountain Football on the Mountain Line Broadcast Network. We welcome you back to Red Mountain High School on the Parker & Sons press box. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey. It's 34-7 Red Mountain on senior night. First game in November. Red Mountain undefeated in the month of October. This is Collier on the sweep. Penalty marker behind the play, and Collier's going to be forced out of bounds there. Running him out of bounds. See that was 95, Gannon Lyles. Wanted to make sure I didn't see Ethan Peterson's number out there. Ethan Peterson is dressed, but he's not going to see the field unless somebody gets dinged.
Skylar Edmonds, you mentioned him coming into the ball game a few minutes ago. He did a nice job on that play, trying to stretch it to the outside. Did a great job trying to keep outside contained. Got washed up there a little bit in the middle, but ultimately was able to get outside and force the play at the sideline.
So it'll be 1st and 20 after the holding infraction assessed to the Westwood Warriors. And let's be honest, for Westwood, they can ill afford to begin this drive trailing 34-7 on their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, a slight disadvantage if you're the Westwood Warriors.
Letourneau under center. They fake it to the motion man and Collier. They go right up the middle again to 23. That's Sanchez. And Parker McClure, again right there to greet Mr. Sanchez for his 3rd tackle of this first half, including a pick. And all Parker McClure does is just get himself into double digits in tackles, 10 more last week against Mesa.
An impressive player for Red Mountain. Parker McClure doing a nice job there. You mentioned the interception earlier in this game, and he just keeps racking up the tackles.
So it's 2nd and 19. For Westwood, probably one of the best things they could do is kind of take the air out of the ball just a little bit. Mesa tried it for a quarter and some change, and then they just got too far behind. A 21-point second quarter for the Mountain Lions last week kind of did in the Jackrabbits. Empty set for Letourneau. He throws over the middle field. The ball is caught at the 29-yard line, and making the reception was Johnny Collier. He got dropped immediately by Gannon Lyles. For Gannon Lyles, he continues to make plays at that secondary. His 16th tackle of the season. Another solo tackle for Gannon. For Gannon, his 11th unassisted tackle on the campaign. He's making plays, given opportunity.
Yeah, an impressive player for Red Mountain, Gannon Lyles, and just a sophomore. So he's really starting to learn the game, and he's going to be a productive player here for a couple more years.
Letourneau to Johnny Collier, a gain of 19. Good enough to move the sticks on 3rd and 19. Nice job there by Letourneau, and Westwood stayed on the field and continued that drive. This pass is thrown in the middle of the field. Looked like Don Stanciel made the catch, the tight end. Stanciel, 6 foot 187, had 2 catches for 19 yards last week. On the season, 10 receptions, a buck 19, a couple of touchdowns. That was a pretty good throw there by the sophomore quarterback.
Yeah, it was a beautiful pass. One thing they're doing right now is they're trying to get the ball out in a hurry, a little 3-step drop, and they're realizing that the edge pressure is coming pretty quick from Red Mountain, so he's got to deliver that football in a hurry.
That's a gain of 7. They throw the ball outside the numbers, and making the catch was Jaden Wilkins, his 15th reception of the season for Wilkins, and he's going to be forced out of bounds by the freshman Cole Shivers. So for Shivers, give him another tackle for Cole, and for Cole, that's his 7th tackle on the season. That's a gain of about 8 yards, and Westwood and their sophomore quarterback, Gavin Letourneau, are going to move the sticks again here. This drive started on the 10-yard line.
Yeah, impressive right now. Letourneau is really taking command of this offense. And once again, with the quick hitters, he's able to move the football down the field.
People wonder how a young quarterback like that is making an impact right away. It's because the skill set these guys have when they come to Westwood, it's a lot better. Again, it's Collier with a big reception on the far sideline, stiff-arming tacklers to boot. That time I think he took a shot at Grossklaus, but also over there was Cody McLaughlin and big Jake Griffin, but another big play to Johnny Collier.
Collier is just so fast and so shifty on the edge. He's got that acceleration, able to stop and start in a hurry and evading defenders all the way.
So Collier, a 21-yard reception from Gavin Letourneau. He's gone 19 and 21 yards on this particular drive and already has a 79-yard touchdown to his credit. Again, they go over the middle. Once again, it's the tight end, Stanciel. He makes the catch. He's got the first down, and their Westwood Warriors are going to be in the red zone for Red Mountain for the first time tonight. Cody McLaughlin making that tackle right there.
This defense for Red Mountain is going to have to stiffen because right now Westwood is moving the football. They're going to have to dig in up front and start getting more pressure on the quarterback.
This is one thing that is a challenge for Red Mountain's defense is they're playing without some of their dudes tonight. Trey Smith is in there, but no George Ramirez is a big loss for your football team. First attempt from the 20. Letourneau to the air. Ball's caught. And taking it in and making a move at the 3 and scoring a touchdown is Corin Brantley Ellis. For Brantley Ellis, his 6th touchdown reception.
A nice job that time for Brantley Ellis. A little pass in the middle there. He's able to run it up the middle. A little bit of shiftiness as he approached the goal line, and a really nice run there.
That was a nice cutback at the 3-yard line. Corin Brantley Ellis, the receiving end of that touchdown for Gavin Letourneau. For Letourneau, his 13th touchdown pass of the season for the sophomore quarterback. I'll double check that for you on the receiving end of that one. Brantley Ellis, yes, is indeed his first touchdown reception of the season. I might have misspoke there. It was McClintock that's got 5. Corin Brantley Ellis, his first touchdown reception of the season. And Letourneau now has 13. Point after try is good. And with 8:59 to go till halftime, the Westwood Warriors, they're not going to be embarrassed here tonight. They're going to play football. And Kyle Ide's team has responded with a couple of big punches in the mouth. They hit the deck twice. They've gotten right back up, and they've thrown a haymaker of their own.
Well, they're 2-7 on the year, and they know this is the last football game of the season, and they're going to try to make it count. And right now, they're not going away quietly.
They average 139.9 yards a game through the air. They've got over 100 yards passing here in the first half. They rushed the ball at 123.4 per game. 263 total yards of offense with 19 touchdowns. They now have 21 touchdowns on this season. And when you look at that in comparison to Red Mountain, well, the Mountain Lions, they have over 50 touchdowns. The Mountain Lions have 59 touchdowns before we kicked off here tonight. Ball's loose, far side of the field. That goes out of bounds, and that's going to be a procedure penalty. But the Red Mountain special teams group better wake up pretty quickly because Westwood darn near just converted the near impossible onside kick now.
Boy, they dodged a bullet indeed there. It could have been a disaster for Red Mountain that time, but somehow they were able to that ball went out of bounds. A little procedure penalty, as you mentioned, but they'll still have pretty decent field position here to start this drive.
They're going to have the ball on the, let's see where they walk it up to. Looks like it's going to be on the 47-yard line. That's where they're going to start this drive. They lead it 34-14. 5 possessions with the football, 5 touchdowns for Red Mountain's offense. It's Hiram Bourne at quarterback. He's got 4 touchdown passes. This is Villanueva. And Villanueva with a big hole. We'll double check that. I think that was T-Mac. Then I double look at that, and that is Ty McElroy. That's a punishing run by Ty McElroy going right up the middle, again behind the center, Costa Cooley that time, and it was the finish at the end delivering contact.
This guy knows how to finish 5'10", 200 pounds. He runs behind his pads, and you better know if you're going to meet him in the hole, he's going to bring it.
This is T. McElroy again, and McElroy is going to cut back inside. He started that drive and that run outside the numbers, made a nice little move, and their penalty marker came in. And let's see what this one's all about. It would negate what looks to be about an 8-yard run for Ty McElroy. Nice, powerful run out that right side again. Working behind those dudes up front. Carson Foster, Jake Griffin. You can't say enough about Carson Cooley, a 4-year starter for this offense and defense. CC is as a playmaker.
Outstanding job up front all season, all 4 years for Carson Cooley. 6'2", 280 pounds. And center is one of the most difficult positions on the football field to play, and he does it very well.
He is the anchor of that offensive line. So the penalty will back up Red Mountain. It'll be 1st and 13 from the 45-yard line. Bourne will step up and run it, and Bourne's going to be dropped down, and he's going to be tackled around the 44-yard line based on where the original line of scrimmage was on that play. It could be a sack for Westwood, and if I had to guess, I'd say it's right there on that threshold on that line to be. So we'll assume it was a sack. 2nd and 12 from the 44-yard line. Red Mountain with some tempo here, right back up to the line of scrimmage. This is Ty McElroy, and Ty McElroy continues to pick him up and put him down, and he's going to fight for extra yardage. He'll take it inside the 38-yard line. That's where they're going to stand him up and roll him down to the ground. 31, Daniel Lerma, a couple of tackles on this drive already, makes the play there, JP.
A nice play there on defense for Westwood for Lerma, but the one thing I really like about Ty McElroy, he's always going forward. If he's going down, he's going to keep picking up yardage as he goes down.
3 wide receivers to the wide side for Hiram Bourne. He's got Butler on the near side. T-Max the tailback. This is Bourne. He's going to run it, turn it upfield, 40, 35, 30. Still on his feet, cut it back on his loose, 20. And he'll be brought down inside the 10-yard line. They're going to spot the ball on the 7-yard line, maybe the 8-yard line. And again, a quarterback keeper for Hiram Bourne. And Hiram Bourne makes another big play. Coming into the play tonight, 1783 total yards, 23 combined touchdowns for Hiram Bourne. He's just a playmaker. James.
He is a playmaker, not only with his arm but with his feet, and he's able to extend plays. Oftentimes when pressure comes from the defense, but that time a little bit of a design run there. Hiram Bourne maybe reading the end a little bit, decided to run that one, and a very productive play.
30-yard scamper there for Hiram Bourne. 1st and goal to go on the 8-yard line. This is Ty McElroy with a sweep. Lower the shoulder, bounce off a tackler, dive towards the goal line, and is going to be stopped just a little bit short. We'll stop him short on the 1-yard line. Westwood hanging in there. 25. Looked like Jerron Small Canyon made the tackle. 6-yard carry there for Ty McElroy. Again, more tempo for the Mountain Lions. They want to get up to that line of scrimmage. Ball's on the 1-yard line, and now we get a snap and play. I believe Kyle Ide will take a timeout, and that's a smart timeout to take. His defense wasn't ready, and you could just kind of foresee the next snap would have been another touchdown for the Mountain Lions. And we talked about it briefly. 59 touchdowns coming into play tonight. They now have 64. They're knocking on the door for 65 touchdowns on the campaign in 10 football games.
I think you could safely call that an offensive juggernaut.
It's impressive, and it's an improvement from a season ago. I mentioned, though, Westwood outscored this season through 9 games, 320 to 141. They're coming off a win over North. They beat them 28-13 last Friday night. So Red Mountain out of that timeout. Ty McElroy's flanked to the right of Hiram Bourne. Bourne's the quarterback. The tailback is Ty McElroy. He's going to run it a zone read to the left, and he's just going to walk into the end zone, literally walk in untouched for a 2-yard touchdown run. And for Ty McElroy, touchdown number 8 for that young man this season.
Just a little backdoor play that time put on by Red Mountain. The backside guard and tackle blocked down, and they try to sell that misdirection going the other way, and Ty McElroy just right out the gate and right in the end zone.
T-Mac now 18 touchdowns in his career as a member of the Mountain Lions. None easier than that, really. He'll tell you that himself. That is the easiest touchdown he has had in his 3 years here playing varsity football. As that cloud covers the half moon here, a gorgeous moon. Connor Gardner gets the placement from a Jared Wilson hold, and he powders it into the night sky here in East Mesa. One more time through the uprights. 6:08 to go till halftime, James Poobie. It's now 41-14. Red Mountain has the lead, and they are in command. And perhaps maybe it will be a statement-type game. What can they do? They can just play the games on the slate, punch him in the mouth, do what they can. This is all for naught if Ty McElroy scores that 2-point conversion, and you beat Perry. We're talking about a foot here. We're talking the length of the football, what might keep Red Mountain away from the second season in the Super 8.
Right here in this press box, Kevin, weeks ago we watched this football team play one of their best games that I've been a part of, and boy, they just came up so short. But if they would get credit for that quality loss, we'll see what happens tomorrow morning.
Football fans, listen to the Red Mountain broadcast. Yourself, myself, James Poovey, that guy, home and away on Red Mountain TV and YouTube. Download the app now and listen to the game tonight. Bring your headphones to the game and tune in to Red Mountain Football on YouTube. Connor Gardner, touchback number 39. This one's drilled into the end zone right over the D here at Red Mountain High School on senior night. A couple other quick thank yous here. Special thank you to Butler Amusement, Chuck's Fine Meats, Los Angeles Pavilions, and our good friends at Brenner Construction. And don't forget about One Stop Nutrition. One stop for your nutrition on Power and McDowell.
And fans, listen to the Lions Den podcast with head coach Mike Peterson each week with show host Kevin Derryberry. Enjoy conversation with Coach Peterson about tonight's game against the Westwood Warriors. Chalk Talk, the Parker & Sons Lions Den Player of the Week, and a preview of next Friday's opponent that will be determined. The Lions Den podcast every week with head coach Mike Peterson.
On the sweep, that's Joshua McClintock. And McClintock runs right into Grossklaus. Skylar Edmonds was also there, and Josh Campos, the nose guard. His play continues to emerge each and every Friday night. Nice to see the development of Josh Campos.
Yeah, Campos doing a great job up front, 5'10", 210, and he is really starting to dial in up front on that defensive line for Red Mountain.
Where are some of our season ticket holders here tonight? I see a couple of black seats. Some of our season ticket holders empty seats tonight here on senior night.
Where's our spotter?
First attempt for the 24-yard line. We're still looking for Kane, and the ball is going to be caught off the carom. Making the catch was Derek Trey Haynes. Ball is off of the fingertips of the wide receiver, but hauling it in, right place, right time was Haynes. He makes the catch.
Heads up play, keeping his head on a swivel, and he was in the right place, right time, and able to pull that one in there. Ball bounced in the air for just a second, but before you know it, he had it and was making a football move up the field.
Nice play right there. You talk about concentration, James Poovey. Great point right there. 1st and 10 for the Mountain Lion, 33-yard line. There goes the man in motion. That is Joshua McClintock. Empty set for the quarterback. Letourneau throws, far sideline. There's nobody home. And he had to get rid of it in a hurry because Parker McClure was a-coming. And he was a-coming in a hurry, and he had a lot of smoke blowing out of those sides of him. And speaking of smoke, you can see some blue smoke here in the stands. But Parker McClure does not have a sack yet this season. He's got 2 interceptions. But you know it's a matter of time for 30 gets in there and gets a sack. He's just a sophomore, and he's been a dynamic player since he's put on the helmet here at Red Mountain High School.
Well, Parker McClure does a great job on defense, and he also has great pursuit angles every time he's running for the football. And he's come close on a couple sacks, and he's going to get one here pretty soon.
In fact, Parker McClure scored his first ever varsity touchdown on the road at Westwood last season. Letourneau to the ground. It's the tailback. Again, he's spun around. That is Joshua McClintock. Nobody home that time because Tyler Brown was there along with Cole Loria and friends, and Josh Campos again was lurking.
Nice team defense there for Red Mountain. Swarming the football, that's got to be pleasing to Coach Kyle Enders. That's exactly what he wants, 11 hats on the ball every play.
One thing that we could tell you about Westwood, just 39 players on their roster. That is a very small number to work with, and you just hope that they get some guys in their program and they continue to want to play football for Kyle Ide. It'll only make the East Valley region better. Once again, Letourneau under pressure. He throws. The ball's caught at the 50. Turning it up down the sideline is Johnny Collier again. And it was Trey Smith applying the pressure, but Letourneau with a great throw over the middle and making a great reception on a tremendous route run was Johnny Collier.
Yeah, let's talk again about that throw from Letourneau. What a bullet that time out. Very difficult throw, rolling to his right, throwing down the field, and he's got quite an arm.
And making that throw with Trey Smith coming in your living room right there like that, breathing a little fire on you. Great throw, 27-yard pass play, Letourneau to Johnny Collier, and have a night, Johnny Collier. Approaching the century mark here in the first half. It's 41-14, Letourneau to the air, ball's caught, great reception made, and then forced out there by Cole Shivers. Jake Griffin was also there, but making that catch was Jaden Wilkins. For Wilkins, his 16th catch of the season, up against 131 yards. So Westwood's moving the football left to right here. Clock stop at 4:02 to game in a 41-14 ball game. What's happening around the state in the 6A conference? And by the way, we're taking roll call. Tweet us right here tonight in the press box and let us know where you're watching the game from. Hashtag RM roll call. Pass thrown over the middle, incomplete. Skylar Edmonds was in there defensively. Ball was intended for the tight end, Don Stanciel, and incomplete. Stanciel already with 2 catches in this first half. He's been a weapon for this sophomore quarterback, Gavin Letourneau.
Yeah, I'm just really impressed with Letourneau. He's managing this offense, especially during the last couple of drives, really well here for Westwood.
3 down linemen up front right now. Jake Griffin, Costin Cooley, and Trey the Truth Smith up front right now. Andrew Bonham at 1 corner position. His safeties remain Lyles and Grossklaus. Shivers is the other cornerback. Westwood quickly up to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 7 from the Mountain Line 36. And after a difficult exchange, Letourneau's just going to have to fall down. And it looked like Cole Loria was the first guy there to touch him down. And if so, give Cole Loria another tackle and maybe a sack on that play based on the scoring.
Yeah, that was a great play for the Red Mountain defense. A bobbled snap there. I don't think Letourneau ever really had it, but somehow was able to fall on it and play for another down.
More than likely, they'll just give Loria a tackle for a loss. What a pretty moon here tonight in the Ace Valley as we watch it to our left from the Parker & Sons press box here high atop the press box at Red Mountain High School. Collier lines up in the slot to the near side. Empty set. Here comes the blitz. Letourneau to the air. Pass is thrown to the far side and nearly intercepted. The ball was picked off and dropped. Andrew Bonham was there. He had one right there in the wickets, and I think once he tried to perhaps put the ball away and take it down the sideline, he dropped the ball. And maybe that one was just if you took a little sneak peek up and you saw all that green grass in front of you, you thought you could run a long time.
You might get a little distracted with that. Unfortunately, not able to pull that football in before he ran with it. But a nice play there for Bonham, almost a really nice play.
So on a turnover on downs, that was a possession play. So Red Mountain's going to get the football back. And lining up to the far side is Drake Bourne. Empty set here for Hiram Bourne in a 4-wide receiver package. There goes Deontay Elliott. He'll join Bourne in the backfield. He's to his left. Play fake. Bourne looking left. Looks over the middle, winds up, throws deep. Here's a man. He's got Wilson again, and the ball is caught by Jared Wilson inside the 25-yard line. Another beautifully thrown ball by Hiram Bourne, dropping dimes out there, and Jared Wilson over 100 yards receiving the night, just hauled in another beautiful catch.
Jared Wilson double covered that time. Hiram Bourne just took his time in the pocket, had plenty of protection, plenty of time to find the open man, and he laid it right in the breadbasket of Jared Wilson that time. What a play.
42-yard pass play, Hiram Bourne to Jared Wilson. There goes Deontay Elliott up the middle. Deontay's loose. Outside, end zone, touchdown. Deontay Elliott, his second of the game. Good from 20 yards. And for Deontay Elliott, he's got his second score of the night. I mentioned that. And he now has 17 touchdowns on his career here this evening.
Boy, I wouldn't want to have to tackle him. I tell you what, the guy is so shifty. If you don't get him around the calves or maybe even the ankles, he's going to shake loose. And he's got the speed, he's got the power. And once again, he's able to start and stop like few others.
That hesitation, and then he just accelerated right through the line of scrimmage, then bounced it to the outside and started to fall forward again, almost untouched, if you will. That is an impressive walk-in touchdown for Deontay Elliott, his 17th rushing touchdown of the season. And for Deontay Elliott, he continues to marvel right here as a fan, as a broadcaster of the home team. I'm a fan of Deontay Elliott. He's an entertainer. He's a lot of fun to watch.
He is a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to call his football games. And he has fun playing the game. He's playing with one of the ball boys down there on the sideline right now. And he's just a great guy.
So for Deontay, quickly on the tote board, he has 25 rushing touchdowns in his career. That was his 25th right there. 4 receiving touchdowns. He has 29 touchdowns in his career. His next one will be his 30th. Pass along, a partial score. Chandler leads. Check that. Second quarter score, Hamilton, number 2 in the 6A conference, 21. Number 1, Chandler, 14. Connor Gardner's kick high and deep, end over end, and in the end zone again. 40 touchbacks now for Connor Gardner.
So Chandler goes 9-1 on the season. We go 9-1 on the season. Do we leapfrog Chandler? Is that how this whole thing works?
Yeah, that's exactly how it's going to work. Exactly. We'll probably be number 2 in the Super 8 based on James Poovy's theory. So
it's a bit out there, I know, but
Chandler's not going anywhere. They're going to stay. And if they were to fall tonight, that would be remarkable. And then you would say, hey, if that could happen, let's do it. Let's lock
party.
in at number 8. Let's do
go.
it. We'll take on Chandler.
Sure.
Why not, man? Like I said before, we'll play those guys at McCormick Railroad Ranch Park. We'll bring the potato chips. Let's get it on.
That's it.
Ground game. No, pass game. Letourneau over the middle of the field again. The ball's caught in stride. And right now, the sophomore quarterback, Gavin Letourneau, is just tearing apart this Red Mountain secondary. Jaden Wilkins on the receiving end of that one. It should be noted, Georgie Ramirez not playing in this game. He's a starter. He's an all-state defender. Ethan Peterson, a starter, not playing in this game. Red Mountain's doing the best they can with a Band-Aid defense here tonight.
Yeah, you can rest assured that they're picking on that area of the field right there in the middle that usually Georgie is prowling for this Red Mountain defense. And but right now, Letourneau, very impressive.
Letourneau to Jaden Wilkins, good for 30 yards. Back to the ground game for Westwood. And the sophomore showing some poise in the pocket. When you stand in there and you deal with the pressure from Trey Smith and deliver the football on time and on target down the middle of the field, good for 30-something yards, that's an impressive throw for just a sophomore. We repeated that several times.
Well, Coach Kyle Ides got to be happy if he's at the Westwood Warriors because this guy is going to be around for a few more years. He has excellent arm strength, good awareness in the pocket. He doesn't really get too rattled either. Even when the pressure's coming, he's able to stand in there and deliver a quality football.
James, at halftime, stay with us. I'll give you my East Valley Region postseason awards. Letourneau looking deep, going far sideline, and the ball is incomplete. Johnny Collier was locked up with the cornerback, and step for step with Johnny Collier that time was number 2, Andrew Bonham. So nice job there of playing corner for Andrew Bonham. Bonham, 5'8", 145, taking on Johnny Collier, who's 5'10", 140. We've seen JC get loose tonight. He's got a lot of speed to work with.
He has a ton of speed, does Collier. Runs in the family there at Westwood, and he's gotten loose a couple times here tonight at Red Mountain.
One other game in the 5A conference, Williamsfield, all over Eddie Zuby and the Higley Knights. They lead at 27-3 in the second quarter. Here it's 48-14 after Deontay's last touchdown. They run it again up the middle. A little misdirection initially at time for Joshua McClintock. In there to make the tackle. Who else? 30, Parker McClure, his 5th of the night. Parker McClure is a warrior. He's a gamer, just learning how to play this game, and he is going to be something special. I know that people that have listened to our broadcast now in our 6th season, huge fans of Delton Jackson. I mean, Delton Jackson can play this game. Jacob Porter can play this game. We've seen some guys come in here and do their thing. When it is all said and done, Parker McClure may be the best of that group.
Yeah, he is quickly rising to that level of production and efficiency and consistency here with this Red Mountain football team, and a bright spot on the horizon for sure for this Mountain Lions.
So Anthony Carrington, AC, is not dressed out tonight, number 16 down there on the sidelines. Anthony Carrington has always clamored to work hard, and he's asked for the football on the practice team. He's asked for the football on the second team. It doesn't matter what Anthony Carrington does. He just wants to contribute. This week in practice, changes to that receiving room. Anthony Carrington making some plays, made a sprawling diving catch, full body extension, made the grab. A couple of coaches told me one of the best catches they've seen at the high school level in any game, any practice, anywhere. And Carrington hauled it in and then hit the turf rather hard and abruptly, and certainly he got concussed, and AC is now out. He's in concussion protocol, so we'll see about his health. And when he does come back, you will see this young man, Anthony Carrington, make an impact when he's on the football field.
Well, they're going to need him with the loss of number 4, Ramses Rivera. They need to fill that hole, if you will. And along with Jackson Beecher and Jerry Wilson, they're going to look for Carrington to rise to the occasion here, especially come playoff time.
One thing that AC has, he's got some speed. He's a legit burner. But Ramses had special speed, and Ramses was one of those guys that you could give him the football anywhere on the field, and he, too, had that big play ability. But Anthony Carrington, just a youngster, he's learning this game. I think we'll be thrilled with his development when it's all said and done. But for whatever reason, I don't know why he's not on the varsity roster, but he's there. So Letourneau on a 4th and 8 here, possession play, under pressure, tries to get rid of a tackler, and he finally goes down, and the ball comes out late. Trey the Truth Smith all over that play. The 6A conference sack leader just picked up his season-leading 15th sack on the season. That time he got the sophomore quarterback, Gavin Letourneau. Change of possession, football into the hands of Red Mountain.
Once again, Trey Smith doing an excellent job in pursuit, and he was not going to be denied on that sack. He had full extension there, reaching out for the quarterback, Letourneau, and was able to just drag him down to the turf. Ball popped out at the end, but Westwood able to recover, but all for naught. Turnover on downs, and Red Mountain in good field position right now. Maybe they tack another one on here in minute 10.
7 possessions, 7 touchdowns for the Mountain Lion offense. Bourne from the wide open, over the middle of the field, ball caught again. Jared Wilson, the hat trick tonight, his 3rd touchdown reception of the first half. This one good for 34 yards. Hiram Bourne back there as a passer was literally all by himself. He had so much time to throw the football, and Jared Wilson again splits the D, gets past the secondary, wide open, an easy pitch and catch. This one good for 34 yards. And for Hiram Bourne now, that is, I believe, touchdown number 5 in the first half for the right-handed signal caller, number 7.
Unbelievable half football here for Red Mountain. Hiram Bourne to Jared Wilson once again. An excellent connection. Great routes by Jared Wilson. Excellent throws by Hiram Bourne. Great protection up front from the offensive line. You can't lose.
That's just tremendous football right there. All kinds of time for Hiram Bourne. And as you mentioned it, JP, that offensive line, they do get the credit, but do they get enough credit? Great job by those guys. Isaiah Artis, Costin Cooley, Foster, Griffin, Ty Brown when he comes in there. Just Ben Bray. Wow. 55-14 with 64 seconds to go. 8 touchdowns on the night. 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 by Deontay, 1 by Ty McElroy. 5 touchdown passes for Hiram Bourne. And my East Valley Region Breakout Player of the Year, Jared Wilson, now has 8 touchdown passes on the season. 8 touchdown receptions for Jay Willie.
Impressive. They need him in the playoffs. He keeps getting open. He's a big target for Hiram Bourne, and he seems to find him more often than not, especially down the seam. He loves that seam route, and they just keep going at it as long as it's going to be there.
8 drives in the first half, 8 touchdowns for the Mountain Lions.
Impressive.
You said juggernaut. This is a juggernaut-type performance.
6 seconds it took to score that last one. It was a minute 10. It's a minute 4 now.
Once again, a special thank you and a shout-out to our spotter tonight, Kane. Appreciate all that you've done here tonight. He was here for about,
9 minutes?
About 2.5 minutes of the first quarter, and we haven't seen Kane. I imagine you'll see Kane at the nearby Circle K or the snack bar here on campus. So it's 55-14, 64 seconds to go to the break. I will say this about the Westwood Warrior Marching Band. They performed before the game, and they really were magnificent, as were the Mesa Jackrabbit Marching Band last week.
Yeah, those bands are really tight, especially out here in the East Valley. They put a lot of pride, a lot of long hours of practicing that goes into their routines, and they come out here to impress, and impress they do for sure. And looks like we're going to get a little bit more of that Westwood band here at halftime.
So Westwood trailing 55-14. Have a long way to go here. We will be entering that AIA running clock rule here momentarily. For Westwood, they'll run the ball. Inside give to the tailback this time. This is Victor Sanchez. Looked like JB, Jared Butler, was one of the guys in there. And then the honorary team captain tonight, double force, Will Vanderlinden also in on that play for Vanderlinden. Just nice to see him continue to make plays.
Yeah, Vanderlinden's done a great job this year for the Mountain Lions, and great to see him getting that captaincy tonight as well.
Collier leaps in the air,
Ooh.
and he got a little bit of the headgear of Andrew Bonham that time. So Johnny Collier, you talk about some high stepping. We've seen that look a little bit. Deontay Elliott can do that as well.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
But you got to be careful. You see the National Football League, you see a lot of guys leave their feet. This is like a common challenge that they have. Guys are really athletic. But the guys that leave their feet, then they get contact, and the defenders make contact with them, a lot of times it ends up in a bad fall, man.
Real bad, with a lot of velocity on the fall, too, because you have no base whatsoever when you leave your feet, and the coaches will tell you, you better keep those feet on the ground.
Letourneau again. This time they go off tackle to Sanchez. And Sanchez runs right into Will Vanderlinden once again. Nice job by Vanderlinden. Next to him is Josh Campos. Those two team up to make that tackle. The first half will wind down 8 seconds, 7 seconds. It's halftime on senior night. And for the Mountain Lions, they're cruising right here, 55-14. They need to be up by 42 for the AIA running clock to kick in. And we could see that here in the second half. So we will bring up offensive coordinator Chris Andriotis. Chris?
What's up, guys?
Hey, buddy. We're blowing these guys out 55-14 right now, and we'll let you go ahead and just read off our impact players of the game to start and then comment on those guys if you would.
Hiram Boren doing a great job, throwing dimes.
5 touchdown passes.
5 touchdowns. I mean, couldn't ask any more of him. Had a couple nice runs.
The accuracy of the ball, where he's putting the football, our receivers are running some great routes. I'm not sure where to credit or discredit the secondary. We score almost 49 points a ball game. We look pretty good here. Yeah. 55 in the first half. But this passing game right now is rocking and rolling, Coach.
Yeah, we're doing a great job. He even got to throw into his brother tonight. How about that?
Awesome. One of his 5, yeah. And that was a great throw.
It was.
Corner of the end zone. Perfect
throw.
Great route. Yes, sir.
Press the edge, everything we like. Nas had a real nice carry down here, and I don't know if we can get a couple blocks. So we haven't got him in too much. You'll see a lot more in the second half, I think.
Well, Deontay Elliott is he's a guy that scored 17 rushing touchdowns this season. Yeah. About every 5 carries, Deontay gets the rock. He's housing it. That's a remarkable statistic.
It is. It probably went up after this first half.
It could very well have.
Yeah.
What are your takeaways from this offensive line? We talk about the playmaking ability of Hiram Boren and the wide receivers. Jared Wilson with a hat trick tonight. He's got 3 touchdowns. These guys are looking good, but it's all set up by those guys up front. You're in the trenches with them a lot during practice. You've helped nurture this group along with Coach Dietrich. Yeah. What are they doing right tonight?
They're communicating. They're getting on the right guys. They're staying engaged. You know, we went back and looked at a couple of those holding penalties. I couldn't find it, but you know, we're going to keep on blocking. And those guys, they block to the whistle, and I'm super proud of that group.
I know they only have 39 guys on their roster, but it just seems like to me tonight, every play that we make, everyone is in space. I mean, Hiram Boren had 15 minutes to throw that touchdown pass to Jared Wilson right there.
They had nobody covered him. He went right down the middle of the field. Yeah, it's great. They're doing some stuff a little different than what we had seen on film. You know,
more of a defensive-oriented type question, but
sure.
The big play seems to still kind of get us just a little bit. Now, I mentioned we're playing without Georgia Ramirez. Yep. Skylar Edmonds hasn't played a lot lately, so he's just kind of getting himself back into shape. We're playing with 2 different safeties tonight.
2 sophomores.
No Peterson's in there. Grossklaus getting a start tonight for the first time ever. Ganna Lyles gets the start at safety tonight. They're holding their own, but they gave up the big play a little bit.
You know, it's good experience, and you can't replicate the speed, change in speed from JV to varsity until you're in there.
Right.
And I think they're figuring that out, and they'll be fine. Those kids are going to be good players.
The other guy on that list was Parker McClure.
Oh, McClure.
As a coach that has to defend him in practice, what type of a practice player is Parker? We certainly know what kind of game player he is.
He's solid.
But he's just a gamer.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great fill on that one fullback dive they tried.
He's picking balls off now.
He got a pick. I think that's his second pick this year, isn't it?
It's twice. Second in the last 2 weeks.
Second in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's really another kid who's a young kid and starting to get a feel for the varsity game, and I think he's really starting to get comfortable in the middle there, and he's only going to get better. The sky's the limit for him.
We always ask you this, but what's going to be the conversation like in at halftime? You're up 55-14.
Well,
I don't think there's going to be a lot of cursing going on.
No, we're going to, it's senior night, so we're going to make sure we get our seniors in there, make sure they get to show their skills off, and that'll be our focus, and getting everybody some reps and resting our guys and getting ready for a playoff run in either the 6A or in the Open.
We're visiting with offensive coordinator Chris Andriatis here at halftime. It's 55-14, Red Mountain rolling. The calls are coming in, the tweets are coming in. People want to ask, what in the heck is the franchise left tackle doing out there catching passes? His first ever reception.
He has been petitioning for it since the beginning of the year, and he drew it up himself. He came up with it with Coach Diedrich.
64.
Yeah.
Just catching balls. Yeah.
And it looked okay in practice. Well, he's not going to run away from anybody. That's not his forte. So
my thought is, let's try that play again on the other side to see what happens.
Believe me, they're all petitioning. I'm getting all kinds of diagrams drawn up.
It should be noted that this time a year ago, Charlie Holma scored a rushing touchdown.
He did.
I think he was one of 5 guys that scored a touchdown against Westwood last week. So when it happens, right? I mean, we get these guys the ball. These are the types of games they start lobbing early on. Say, hey, at Westwood game, if things are in control, get me the rock.
Well, I don't know if you're going to see any more offensive line centric plays this game, but you never know.
Trey Smith got a big sack. His 6A conference 15th sack that leads the 6A. He's a stud.
He's amazing. He's relentless.
Cool thing about Trey Smith, I hate to say this, I don't think James Poovey is aware of this, but I'm going to break it for you. The Truth will be in Tucson tomorrow talking. Just giving you a heads up. He's going to go on a visit at U of A.
Is he?
So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully he takes that drive down there. They don't do him well with that peanut butter parfait at the Picacho Peak Dairy Queen, and he says, I'm not into turquoise. I'm going to go back to Tempe. I'm going to play with the Sun Devils with my boy Alexander Randall.
He's a special player, and I think he's relatively new to the game. And
yes,
his best football's ahead of him. That is for sure.
Agreed. Do you like that Dairy Queen as you go down?
I don't know if I've ever been to
Tucson?
that particular one. I'm a double cherry dip kind of guy.
Okay.
You know,
I'd go butterscotch if we had to do the dip thing. But Chris Andriatis is our guest, the offensive coordinator. He's with us with extra time tonight because we've already put up 55. We'll be in an AIA running clock. We'll be in an AIA running clock rule here. By the way, you're 55.
Yeah.
8 possessions, Coach. 8 touchdowns. That's the first time we've done that all season long.
That was one of our goals. We did not want our punter to get out on the field tonight.
I don't want to see Gardner punt the ball tonight.
Nope.
He had one inside the 20 last week. It's good for his 7th time doing that, but I don't want to see him on the field tonight. No.
I just want him doing kickoffs into the end zone.
Chris Andriatis, our guest. It's halftime. Chris, thanks so much, man.
Guys,
go breathe some fire on there.
Hey, man.
I like to see 70 on the board. That's just me as a fan.
I would
70.
too. I would too.
All right.
You guys have a good one.
We'll take a break. More halftime festivities coming up. You're listening and watching to Red Mountain Football on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network.
The Red Mountain Marching Tribe is under the direction of Jennifer Hamilton. Percussion instructors Trevor Gipper, Bree Bradford, and Matthew Esquito. Visual instructors J.M. Jimenez, Raina Richardson, and Zach Lifego. It's time now to honor our senior members of the Marching Tribe class of 2020. We will begin with Mikey Adams, escorted by Matt Adams. High school accomplishments became epic in every way. Compliments to the Sammy for keeping us all sane. Plans after high school, live a full life, then die. Next we have Carmen Avalos, escorted by Mayra Avalos and Ishmael Avalos. High school accomplishments. I learned so much about myself and matured as a person and made really amazing friends along the way. Plans after high school, go to NAU and study nursing. Next is Catherine Bartlett, escorted by Christina and David. Was on color guard for 4 years. Plans after high school to attend Mesa Community College. Next senior is Randy Baugh, escorted by her parents Erica and James, cousin Dakota Dyler. 4 years in marching band, 2 years in theater, maintained a part-time job since 7th grade. Plans after high school, would like to attend Montana State or Texas A&M, mastering in music and education. Next up is Lexa Boyles, escorted by Lavender and Dana Boyles. 4 years in marching band, 3 years in jazz band, 3 years in Red Mountain softball, and is currently the German club co-president. Plans to attend MCC in March with the ASU marching band. Next we have Patricia Castro Ruiz, escorted by Jemima Castro and Luciano. Marine Biology Club President and 5 seasons of color guard. Plans to attend MCC for 2 years, then go to the University of Arizona to double major in Marine Biology and Veterinarian. Next is Lauren Cook, escorted by Tracy and Anthony Cook. Joined band in a whim without being able to read music and made it to center marimba and section leader. Plans to attend MCC for 2 years, then transfer to ASU for a BA in music education. Next we have Alex Finlay, escorted by Melissa and Nick Finlay. Performed in the pit for the musical both sophomore and junior year, and all 4 years in marching band leadership. Plans to apply to the ASU School of Music and study music education. Next we have Miles Gordon, escorted by parents Elizabeth and Jeffrey Gordon. Track and field athlete, member of the National Honor Society, selected to serve on the Mayor's Youth Committee, and as an RMHS FAFSA peer coach, graduating NPS Service Learning Honor for Excellence designations with over 250 hours of service learning, a 4.0 GPA. Plans to double major in film and African American studies and receive a minor in Spanish. Next up is Tanner Hunter, escorted by Cambria Hunter mom and Robert Hunter brother. Genetically perfect, plans to be a music major at Olivia Nazarene University. Next we have Mason McIver, escorted by Kennedy McIver. First year marching band, top 5% of the class of 2020, and has accumulated 394 service hours over 4 years of high school. Plans to go to a university to pursue a bachelor's degree in neuroscience and continue on to medical school. Next up is Rowan Mingo, escorted by Haley Estelle. Has top high school accomplishment, getting my seal of biliteracy. He plans to attend Arizona State University. Carolina Meza is next, escorted by sister Fernanda Meza. 4 years of marching band and concert band, 2 years as a drum major, 2 years NHS, Link Crew, AP Council, Engineering and Robotics. Being named a National Hispanic Scholar and hopefully being named a Flynn finalist. Plans to attend ASU to pursue a master's in aerospace engineering and go to work for Boeing or NASA. Our next senior is Mark Nickel, escorted by John and Catherine Nickel. 4 years in the marching band, 3 years as a section leader, as well as becoming the band's first brass captain. Plans to continue pursuing drum corps and attending university to study criminal justice. Our next senior is Matthew O'Shaughnessy, escorted by Lawrence O'Shaughnessy, father, and Beverly, grandmother. 4 years of marching band, 3 years honors band, 4 years full symphony. Selected to an Arizona Ambassador of Music for a European tour, and AP student. Plans to study business for a business degree at MCC. Our next senior is Madison Reeves, escorted by Derek and Kathy Reeves. 4 years of marching band, 2 years as a baritone, 2 as a color guard member, 2 seasons of winter guard so far. Captain of the color guard and many honors in AP classes. He plans to attend MCC. Our next senior is Caleb Serrano, escorted by grandmother Yolanda and mother Desiree. High school accomplishments, meeting all the friends and acquaintances I have today, finding my love for music and my passion for life. After high school, plans to attend Arizona State University for music studies, focusing on French horn, hoping to become a professional musician and travel with different symphonies and organizations around the world. Next we have Max Spear, escorted by parents Jason and Julia. Did marching band for 4 years, did well in school academically with minimal effort, and that's about it. Plans to major in chemistry at ASU and hopefully do good, but will probably end up dropping out and start selling mixtapes out of an ice cream truck. Our next senior is Nicholas Stell, escorted by parents Robert and Susan, has absolutely enjoyed being in marching band over 4 years, jazz band the past 3 years, and honors band this year. With that, in the National Honor Society, Club Diversity, Marine Bio Club, AP Council, and Dream Catchers, has also been taking online college classes through the ACE program for the last 2 years. 5 Theta Kappa Honor Society and colleges because of 4.0 GPA. Plans to further education and attend top choice for college at RISD in Providence, Rhode Island for music production, directing, and writing. Next is Lexi Thompson, escorted by Michael Thompson and Margaret Thompson. Playing the flute and marching band as section leader, also a member of the National Honor Society, and has been in the biomed program at Red Mountain all 4 years. After high school, plans to attend ASU to major in biological sciences and pursue a career in the medical field. Next up is Amy Welch, escorted by Robin Welch Sr. and Ronnie Leonard. Top accomplishments, making some amazing friends and becoming color guard co-captain. Plans to attend Mason Community College after high school. And finally, our last senior is Justin Yelverton, escorted by parents Jason and Michelle. Was on plasma robotics for 2 years, both of which years went to World Championships, was clarinet section leader, and went to Super State the past 3 years. Plans to go to ASU for aerospace engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, they are your senior marching pride members, class of 2020. Let's give them a big round of applause. Your big shocker halftime score this evening. Chandler is losing to Hamilton, 28-14 in the Battle of Arizona Avenue. Red Mountain currently 10th in the open division rankings. They would need to move up to 8 in order to make it into the open playoffs. The number 18 is Higley. They are currently losing 28-3. It looks like the other teams ahead of Red Mountain are winning, so the Lions will need some help if they want to make it to the open division playoff bracket.
About half.
I don't even want to know how much we just ate. Half a pickle has 220 milligrams of sodium in it. A packet of ramen is 550.
You said it. Cheesy.
I just like the part when it says it. But you can replace it with anything.
Back in the field for the second half here, Rebecca Nova.
We welcome you back to the Parker & Sons press box. High atop the press box here at Red Mountain High School. I want to thank a couple of our sponsors, Parker & Sons Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, Electrical, Water Softening. There'll be no Melvins on your job. Dry Force Water Removal Specialists. Call for all of your water removal needs. And Dr. Doug Griffin, Red Mountain Football's foot and ankle specialist. Doug G, we love you. Doing a nice job. So, JP, you're going to ask me who my postseason awards are going to go to who in the East Valley region.
Who are your postseason East Valley region award winners, Kevin?
Coach of the Year for the second time in 3 years, Michael Peterson. His team would be 9-1. They would have won 15 consecutive games in the region. He's never lost to Mountain View. He's never lost to Mesa, never lost to Westwood or Dobson for that matter. 15 straight in the region, 9-1 football team. Michael Peterson is your Coach of the Year in the East Valley region. And I give some credit to George Hawthorne. We talked to George. He's a comer, if you will. Kyle Ides done a nice job. But this is Mike Peterson's award, no doubt about it. Mike Fell, they're trying to win against Dobson tonight, our marquee game of the week on the Gridiron Scroll. Actually, it won't be our marquee game of the week. We're going to talk playoffs on the Gridiron Scroll this week. But it was so Michael Peterson, our defensive player of the year in the East Valley region. Trey the Truth Smith. He's the 6A conference leader in sacks. He has over 60 tackles. He's a ball player, 88, Trey the Truth Smith.
And he is headed down to the U of A tomorrow for a little visit, so that should be interesting. Trey Smith, I mean, what can you say about this guy? Like we were talking before we came back on the air here, how he's really just getting started in this game of football, and he's got a number of great years ahead in his game, and he's only going to progressively get better.
Without question. Without question, your East Valley Region Offensive Player of the Year. This is where it gets a little tricky. This is where it gets a little dicey because Hiram Boren has been magnificent. Deontay Elliott has been magnificent. Can you give it to two guys? Can you have a co-offensive player of the year? Nieto with Mountain View, quarterback's done a nice job.
Yep.
This kid Collier has been effective. Jared Wilson could be in the conversation.
He's got to be.
It's got to be Deontay Elliott or Hiram Bourne. It's going to be one of those two guys. But congratulations to our guys as we begin this second half here. We need a quick touchdown here, get this thing into an AIA running clock as Connor Gardner just drills touchback number 41 in the 6A conference. That leads the 6A conference. In fact, the next closest guys, it's like 10 or 12 away. Connor Gardner's just been booming the ball here. Picked up a Division III offer last week, and he's got a lot of chemistry with his buddy Jared Wilson. So we talk about those guys working together as the kicker and the holder. So here it is, 55-14. Special thank you to Chris Andrianis, the offensive coordinator. We always appreciate his candor and the visits with him at halftime. So to begin this second half, as these temperatures have dropped quite a bit here, it's a lot chillier here. Gavin Letourneau will again start at quarterback, and he begins the second half with a pass to the outside with the coverage there with Skylar Edmonds and Andrew Bonham trying to get the ball into the hands of Jaden Wilkins, who had a couple receptions in that first half, one for about 26 yards. Last week he had 3 balls for 35 yards in that 28-13 win over North.
Yeah, if you're Westwood here starting this second half, you want to try to take a few shots down the field. They've gotten a couple of successful plays out on the edge during that first half, but being behind like they are, 55-14, they're going to have to start taking shots down the field.
Letourneau, empty set, throws a ball to the near side. The ball is overthrown. Going for Wilkins again, and it looks like Shivers was there with the coverage. Couple notes for you on this Red Mount defense. They have been magnificent on third down during the season. Oh, my graphic left me. On offense, they're 56% from third down. My graphic is gone for our defensive third down. I wonder what happened to that. They're excellent on third down. Trust me when I tell you that. Clock stop at 11:52, but you can hear the sweet sounds of the music here. It's kind of unusual to be able to hear the music. Letourneau to the air. Pass complete out in the flat and making a move and turning it upfield towards the far hash marks is number 3. That is Joshua McClintock. Had about 6 or 7 touches in the first half. Really couldn't get anything going because the front 4 of Red Mountain's defense was doing a nice job there, working on that offensive line. It was the secondary that's kind of challenged here by Letourneau here in the first half.
Yeah, he's been very impressive so far here tonight for Westwood. I know they are behind quite a bit, but Letourneau with the command of his offense and just the poise in the pocket and the arm strength, he's the bright future ahead over there for Westwood.
Westwood has had 4 coaches in the last decade. They're 37-65 in those last 10 years. Red Mountain showing blitz. They back out of it, and somebody jumped, and that looks like it was Trey the Truth Smith jumping that time, trying to get an edge on 57. 57 was the player on that left tackle spot. No number to match. So a free 5 for Westwood. Kyle Ide, I mentioned the East Valley Region Coach of the Year in 2018. Coach Ide is 11-18 in his third year. The last double-digit win season for Westwood was back in 2005. They went 12-1 that year. This is Collier on a jet sweep, and he's got nowhere to go. He's bottled up that time. Skylar Edmonds was all over the play. He's there to snuff that one out. Nice job by the outside linebacker to, again, take away that play and take out the legs of Johnny Collier.
Great team defense that time for Red Mountain, swarming the football. Number 3 that time trying to give a little lead block there, Fred Banks for the Westwood Warriors, but he wasn't able to make contact with anyone, just kind of ran through the traffic, and those 3 guys went right around him and made the tackle for the Red Mountain defense.
For Skylar Edmonds, picks up tackle number 30 right there. (55-14), 10:05 to go in this third quarter. They run a sweep to the far side. That's Joshua McClintock. He turns it upfield on the far boundary. He's going to be forced out of bounds with a pretty good thump there. On the sidelight there, Grossklaus was there along with Skylar Edmonds. So Edmonds going from sideline to sideline with the hustle play.
Yeah, great job running the football down that time for Skylar Edmonds, but McClintock showing you a bit of wheels there as he heads to the far side of the field.
9:30 to go till halftime. That moon continues to just be stunning here in that night sky here in East Mesa. Letourneau to the air, throws on the run. The ball is behind his receiver. Turning around and making a sliding catch was Jaden Wilkins. Touchdown immediately there by, well, let's double check that. We have 18 on the play for Red Mountain. This is a freshman that got called up. This is Dre Hathaway. Dre Hathaway is number 18, making his first varsity appearance. And another young man that we saw make an appearance in that first half, we didn't call his name, but that was Lennox Lawson, L3, making his debut at the varsity level here tonight. And this would be a punting situation here for the Westwood Warriors, facing a 4th and 6. Ball on their own 38-yard line as Jared Wilson is back deep. And Jay Willie had a nice kickoff return here, the longest of the season for him, but he's yet to return a punt. And you just wonder if this is the night for Jared Wilson to return a punt.
We'll see if he can get loose on this one here. A high booming kick that time.
This is the type you do it. Wilson to the far sideline looking for blockers. He's patient. Now he stops, and then darts up the middle. And the Westwood defense doing a nice job there, staying disciplined and staying at home that time. They didn't go through the extracurricular movement there by Jared Wilson. They just focused on his belly button and his shoulder pads and then took his leg out.
Yeah, it was a great special teams play there for Westwood. They coach them up to stay in your lanes as you're going down the field. Don't get involved in any extra traffic. Stay in your lane and go straight down the field and try to make that stop. That's exactly what they did there. An excellent job for the Warriors special teams unit.
Yeah, Taylor Brandt was the guy there making the play. It's a nice job there by Taylor Brandt. 55-14, possession in the hands. Looks like we have Evan Swoboda will take the snaps here in the second half. They run it to Bryant. Bryant up the middle with good yardage and driving those legs forward. It was Nas Bryant. Nas Bryant taking some tacklers with him that time, including Westwood's number 80, Stephen Bryant. He went along for the ride. For Bryant, he picks up tackle number 62, and Nas Bryant on Bryant crime right there. It was Nas with a full speed authority type run up the middle.
And a nice job as well by the offensive line, getting a great push, firing off the football that time. And Nas Bryant showing you his skills there on that run.
Nas busts off 11 right up the middle. He'll change positions. Now he's to the right of Swoboda. Bryant again up the middle. Big hole. There goes Nas Bryant with speed. 40, 30. Angle across. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Nas Bryant. 42-yard house call for the Super Junior. And Red Mountain has extended their lead to 61-14 with a second rushing touchdown in his career for that man right there, number 6, Nas Bryant.
Nas Bryant doing a great job that time, going out the left, decided to cut it back. He had receivers blocking for him down the field. One of those guys, Connor Gardner, in the football game, blocking down the field for him, and he just cut it back to the near side, and he was not going to be caught on that one. A beautiful run.
9 possessions, 9 touchdowns for this Red Mountain offense, their largest point total of the year in regulation at 61, looking for 62. Bad snap. It's going to be Jared Wilson looking for the back of the end zone. He throws, and the ball is caught for the 2-point conversion. We'll double check the number. I want to say it was Cody McLaughlin, and it is Cody McLaughlin. You got to wonder if that was a fire drill or one of those design plays. You never know with Jay Willie there, the holder. He's as deceptive as they come. Chris Andriata's work is done at 63-14. 7:47 to go in this ball game, and we will now enter the AIA running clock rule. But what a play there. Jared Wilson, the 2-point conversion to Cody McLaughlin after a spectacular touchdown run by Nas Bryant.
What an outstanding job there. A beautiful throw. Jared Wilson had pressure coming in his face, was able to stand in there and make the throw, and he found Cody McLaughlin near the back of the end zone there, and he hauled that one in off his shoe tops for the 2-point conversion. Great play.
Nas Bryant, big-time playmaker, a lot of speed, played a tremendous amount of cornerback. This coaching staff realizes he's been a running back by trade. They did what he could. He actually could develop into be a very fine corner if he stuck with it, but he might be an extremely talented back. Josiah Villanueva and Nas Bryant provide the future for this Red Mountain football team. And you think about Deontay Elliott and Ty McElroy and the guys that are behind them. Boy, it's a good group of running backs here at Red Mountain High.
Very deep. You mentioned those guys, Deontay Elliott and Ty McElroy. The future bright for Red Mountain here, and not to mention L3 as well.
McClintock on the return. Will Vanderlinden there with the big stick on McClintock on that particular return. And whenever you hear the fans go, oh, and awe, you know that he put a pop on him, and Vanderlinden did just that right there.
And he's done that a number of times this season for Red Mountain. Always bone-jarring hits there in the middle for Will Vanderlinden, and he just continues to improve game in and game out.
For the Mountain Lions, they're trying to beat Westwood for the 11th consecutive time. .6:49 and counting. Clock running here. 63-14. Red Mountain will just wait for the selection show tomorrow, and we'll find out who they play. We'll know who their opponent next week will be right around 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And we'll see just what is in store for this group. And that pass is thrown over the middle, nearly picked off. McLaughlin there in the hunt there. Got his hand on that one. And it's great to see the youngsters on the field, and they're working hard, and they're giving each other high fives. They're pumped up playing in this game.
As well they should be. Great for some of these young guys to get in the football game, get some live bullets. We talked to Coach Chris Andriotis during halftime, and once again, there's no substitution for that live action, and these guys need to get it, and they're getting valuable reps right now here in this ball game.
Again, clock continues to roll here. 63-14. The sophomore quarterback has been the starter, has played the entire game. Gavin Letourneau. They want to run it to Collier again. They stretch him outside and make it an open field tackle. And the ball, Jared Butler was there to make the tackle. Give him the TFL. Penalty marker came in about the same time. But what a that is one heck of an open field tackle by the Butler. The Butler did it again, Jared Butler.
He did a great job on that one and jarred that football loose as well there as it rolled to the out of bounds right about the 13, 14-yard line, it looks like, but an excellent play on defense there for Red Mountain.
So they're going to sort this one out as I continue to hunt down my game note right there. Brutal. No idea where that thing could have gone. It was right here. Don't forget about the Lions Den podcast this week.
Excellent segue, Kev.
James, tell us about it.
The Lions Den podcast, Coach Mike Peterson, heard each week with host Kevin Derryberry. Enjoy conversation with Coach Peterson about tonight's game against the Westwood Warriors. Chalk Talk, the Parker & Sons Lions Den Varsity Player of the Week, and a preview of next week's game against the still-to-be-determined opponent. We talked about that 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. We should be finding out. The Lions Den podcast every week with head coach Mike Peterson. Make sure and tune in.
Red Mountain.
Where can folks tune into that, by the way, Kev?
Back deep, the punt. This is Jared Wilson. He's going to go the other direction, make a man miss. And he's going to take it into Westwood territory. He's a lot of fun. He's like a matador out there without the red cape. But he's out there bobbing and weaving and dancing a jig and doing that Olay thing, and it's effective. It is definitely effective. For Red Mountain and Westwood, they have played 29 times, and Red Mountain holds an 18-11 all-time win streak against them, and they've won 10 consecutive games against Westwood. And I have a note that qualifies that and clarifies that, and it is eluding me. I did that straight from memory. Clock rolling, 4:17 to go in this third quarter. Swoboda again to the ground. It's Bryant. Another big hold. Make it being away. There goes Josiah. 30, 25, 20. Make a move to the outside. Wade, zigzag, go down the middle again. Still on his feet, Josiah, the Typhoon, inside the 10-yard line. These guys have no quit in them. And you talk about picking them up and putting them down with speed and elusivity. Once again, Josiah Villanueva with the delivery of the big run right there.
Yeah, an excellent job that time. Josiah Villanueva, the Typhoon, getting it done for the Red Mountain offense. But I got to point out number 42, Cooper Beecher on that one. A nice stock block there on the far side of the field. Excellent job blocking down the football field for that wide receiver, the sophomore brother of Jackson Beecher.
Cooper getting it done. What a great move. We've seen the patience of our backs. Ty McElroy really led that group. Then it was all about Deontay's patience and the comparisons to Barry Sanders, Le'Veon Bell, and guys like that. Now it's the Typhoon, Josiah Villanueva, and then that young man, Nas Bryant. He's a burner in his own right. And once again, knocking on the door here on the 4-yard line with a 1st and goal to go is Evan Swoboda and this Red Mountain offense. They run it to Villanueva, and Villanueva is going to be driving his legs, and he's going to fall forward into the end zone for a touchdown. For Josiah, his first touchdown of the night, I beg your pardon, and his 4th of the season. And for Red Mountain, they're knocking on the door of 70 here, and I mentioned it. Why don't you go beat these guys 70-0? Now it's 70-14 with a point after try here for this young man here, Connor Gardner.
Well, if I was a betting man, I would bet the house right now that they're going to put 70 because Connor Gardner will put this one through the uprights. A very impressive performance, even for the younger players right now on that drive, getting varsity reps and being really productive. It's great to see.
Villanueva rushing his 4th touchdown in the end zone, 70-14, and unofficially, this is an all-time record for Red Mountain scoring points at 70. You might recall they had 68 4 overtimes against Perry. But here with 3:48 remaining in this 3rd quarter, it's 70-14 Mountain Lions all over Westwood here. And it's not even this close.
It's not. It's not at all, Kevin. So we can't wait till tomorrow morning. We'll find out what lies ahead for this Red Mountain football team. Are they in the open? Are they in the 6A playoffs? Where are they seated? Looks like if they go into the 6A, they could end up a number 2, number 3 seed somewhere in there. If they get into the open, it could be a 7 or an 8 if they just sneak in. We'll see what happens tomorrow morning.
So tough to speculate with things falling and the unpredictable things, the human element. Is there human element? Is there not? It's so baffling to me. And I just go with the mantra of this: win the games, and let's see where the dominoes fall, and we'll go play wherever you want to play. We'll play you. One other point about Red Mountain, 18-11 all-time against Westwood. I just mentioned that. 17-11 regular season, 1-0 in the postseason. So even when it matters most, Red Mountain took care of business and beat Westwood. Westwood won a ring back in 1988. 5A champions. This team here, Westwood. There's Collier again with speed to the edge, 20-25, and he'll run out of bounds. I'm not sure that Johnny Collier likes contact.
That was a business decision right there,
It might have been, but even the one that Edmonds got him on the TFL, he wasn't really looking to take on all comers like you might see Ty McElroy, if you will.
Oh, yes. Ty McElroy never shies away from contact. I love watching him run the football. And he sticks his nose in wherever needed. And let me tell you what, if you're going to step up and try to tackle him, he's going to make you earn it.
14 consecutive years for Westwood without double-digit wins. Their last 9-win campaign was back in 2014 for then head coach Spencer Stowers. They went 9-2 that year. And did you know that Higley head coach Eddie Zuby was once the head coach? Ball's loose on the ground. Fumble. Let's see who comes up with this one. The umpire indicates it's Westwood. Recovering that fumble was Joshua McClintock. But Eddie Zuby, the now Higley head coach, was the head coach for Westwood back in 2007.
Interesting.
So, news you can use, if you will. Yeah, I found my note. Thank you.
Very nice.
Special thank you to our crew: Eric Rich, Gavin O'Hearn, Manuel Lopez, Aaron Lyons, Dayton Vanaker, Maximilian Vocone, Garrett Merrill, and Carson Jacqueline, our fine crew here. Our executive producer, Jeremy Knutson. Collier again, stretched out to the far side. He's going to go down on a heap. Jared Butler was the guy there in defense for Red Mountain. Another solo tackle for him, another tackle behind the line of scrimmage for Jared Butler. And one thing about Jared Butler, he nursed that hamstring for a good month of the season during the middle of the season, but since he's come back, he's been a playmaker for both offense and defense. Of course, he had a touchdown reception from Jalen Daniels last week in that win over Mesa.
Yeah, Jared Butler just all over the field lately for Red Mountain. You know, he comes in 5'8", 160 pounds, but he plays much bigger than that, knows how to tackle behind his pads, and he is not afraid to stick his nose into a fracas.
Shout out to Jeremy Hathcock's football team. Desert Ridge leading 21-7 second half over Desert Vista. Just makes the schedule for the Mountain Lions look a little bit better than a schedule that's just been absolutely besieged due to validity and merit. 70-14, 38 seconds to go. Westwood's going to use all of their play clock, and Kyle Ida will take a timeout. This Red Mountain team, they've done all they can. They've got to get their health right, get their faculties together, and look forward to the opportunity of playing a home game here next week. And what is interesting about it, the unknown, right? It's just what we don't know. Could Red Mountain be in the Super 8? Does their resume give them that chance? Is their resume credible? It is.
Yes.
It's credible. But will the pundits and the officials and the numbers see it that way?
Well, we've talked all year about this East Valley region and how it essentially doesn't really do any favors for Red Mountain. The region's been down over the last few years, and they're going to beat a lot of these East Valley teams like Westwood, Mesa, Dobson, and but they're not going to get any credits for those wins. So unfortunately, they don't get that credit for that really important loss against Perry by 1 point in quadruple overtime, and so that's really where it shakes out.
Play fake. Letourneau thrown down the middle of the field. The ball's caught at the 50, to the 40, 30, down the sideline, 20, 15, out of bounds. 4 Red Mountain defenders over there to force him out. Looked like Cole Shivers was one of the guys there to knock him out. Huge play for the Warriors. Corin Brantley Ellis. And that goes for 58 yards on the play, 58-yarder. Clock expires. First 3 quarters are past tense. We have played 36 minutes here from Red Mountain High School on Senior Night 2019. Our score, hold the phone, folks, Red Mountain 70, Westwood 14. Fourth and final quarter coming up next. You're watching Red Mountain Football on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network.
Desert Ridge leads Highland 28-7. That will help Red Mountain because Desert Ridge was an opponent of the Lions this year.
I was trying, because whenever I do that, I would expect you to do it back.
Hamilton still leads Chandler 35-21.
That's why I was just like
4.5 minutes left, third quarter there.
We welcome you back inside the Parker and Sons press box on the campus of Red Mountain High School. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey. Glad you could be with us. The home finale on the 5-game docket. It's senior night. We salute our seniors.
Well, village people there, huh?
Gavin Letourneau will hand the ball off, and going into the end zone or very close was Joshua McClintock. Nice little start and stop there, and a little second effort there from McClintock.
Kind of got that Red Mountain defense off guard a little bit there. They hurried up to the line and snapped it in a quick minute.
Still working and still coaching that team is Kyle Ide. Quick snap and scoring on the play. Oh, wait till they put him up. We're still waiting, and now finally do. The linesman will put him up. Unfortunately, Red Mountain says they've got the ball. Cody McLaughlin has the rock in his hand.
He was headed the other way, too.
The quarterback sneak, credit that to Gavin Letourneau. Letourneau was 11 of 18 for $159 and 3 touchdowns in that win over North last week. So JP's got the Red Mountain football hoodie on. Very nice. Special thank you to MJ Henning, Kamal Nasser, and Costin Cooley, Ben Bray, Isaiah Artis, Carson Foster. We salute you. We appreciate you. We thank you for your contributions to Red Mountain football. Max Bray is one of those guys. That ball snap is fumbled, and Red Mountain will escape the point after try. There to recover the fumble for Westwood was 32. Giovanni Vega, and that was just really a fire drill. It was a bad snap. They couldn't recover, and Red Mountain just pounced on it.
Yeah, really not a whole lot they could do with that one there. More seniors to recognize for Red Mountain. Number 48, Major Kelly. Number 23, Ty McElroy, as you mentioned. Number 14, Jared Wilson. 11, Connor Gardner, Mr. Automatic there for Red Mountain Special Teams. Number 8, Jackson Beecher. Number 7, Hiram Bourne. And number 5, Deontay Elliott. And number 4, Ramses Rivera, who unfortunately no longer with us.
10 possessions tonight, James Poobie. 10 possessions for the Red Mountain offense, led by Chris Andriatis and Tabor Lamar. 10 touchdowns, just like that. 10 for 10. And they did miss a point after try early on, but it was this will be a good win for Red Mountain. And we just mentioned that they want to play a team that will challenge the coaching staff, challenge the fan base, challenge the broadcasters, challenge the quarterback. They just want to be challenged, and I think they're going to get challenged here in the 6A conference.
Oh, they're going to get challenged no matter who they get next week, whether it's in the Open Division or in the 6A, because regardless of who gets in the Open, that 6A division is still going to be pretty competitive.
Kick returned by Lennox Lawson. So L3 makes his first play on a kick return there. Like to see Lennox get a chance to run a 9 route. Lennox Lawson on the return. L3. Clock rolling at 9:42.
Number 19.
Connor Gardner has checked in at wide receiver. Also one of those big fellas up front, 77, getting some playing time. Kamal Nasser, the senior, 6 foot 290, getting a chance to play up front. Mike Peterson wanted to get some of his seniors in here tonight. Perhaps for some of these guys, their last opportunity to play in the 6A level. Who knows what the postseason will hold here. They run the football. Swoboda gives it up. Evan had a couple touchdown passes last week in his first start. Lennox Lawson will come on the field. Nash Bryant is the tailback, and there is a Westwood player that's shaken up, and he's face down on all fours right now, so we'll see what the injury is all about. Just going to be a lot of fun to see what happens with this group, but for Kyle Enders, he's going to have all of his guys back, and that means a healthy Skylar Edmonds, a healthy Cole Loria, Trey Smith, Georgie Ramirez has got to be ready to go. You know, Georgie turned his ankle earlier in the week, and he was ready to go in practice by Wednesday. He did miss a couple of days of practice, but he's a gamer, and you know that he wanted to play. And the coaching staff said, without practicing those couple of days, why don't you sit? So the captain of that defense, Georgie Ramirez, is going to sit tonight, and he did. And you know that he could have gone if he needed to. He too is just a tremendous football player. And you wonder how Trey Smith, Georgie Ramirez, Parker McClure, those three on defense, even a young man like the freshman Cole Shivers, how will they grow in the postseason?
Well, they're going to continue to grow, and you mentioned those players. They've been successful all year. They're going to need all of those guys here going into the postseason because, again, they're going to face some formidable opponents. And Trey Smith, a leader of that defense, one of the leaders of the defense. George Ramirez, as you mentioned, he could go tonight, but I think it's pretty smart that they held him out.
Absolutely.
Get him healthy in what is obviously a blowout game here, 70-20 right now. No need to get him hurt. He is the franchise on defense, and not to mention special teams and gets in on offense as well. So we'll see what happens.
Westwood missing their dudes, Rashard Anton, we mentioned Manny Collier, Will Driggs, Junior Sanasi, all these guys they're missing right now.
What happens is like that guy hit his head.
So the word on the streets are if Red Mountain
Yeah, but a contusion
is invited to the Super 8, they would have a bye next week. That'd be cool. Here goes Nas Bryant, breaking tackles. They try to stand him up, and he's just going to
Their big one. That's more common
roll
with
over some
paralysis.
people. Nas Bryant,
If you break your
a patient runner with just tremendous speed, and you wonder why it's hard to tackle him. We talk about and use that term, pick him up and put him down. He kind of runs with those knees up high, and that is a trait of a guy that you can't tackle very easily.
Yeah, it's not easy to tackle a guy that runs hard, uses, we called it violent legs when I was coaching. You want to go ahead and run as hard as you can, because if somebody doesn't come and try to get you around the legs, they might catch a kneecap up to the side of the helmet, and that's going to be a win for you.
Yeah, it is. They run the ball again.
Ball carrier is number 84, Bradley Takamoto.
Takamoto, the ball carrier that time. That's his second carry of the season
You can tell
for
it's broadcast.
the young man.
Loss of
Bradley
3
Takamoto, 5'9", 160, the senior. It's about the fifth tailback in a line of some stud tailbacks. And unfortunately, Connor Gardner has to come out and punt the football. And this is not what Mike Peterson wanted to have happen. He did not want to use Connor Gardner to punt the game at all. And he's here right now.
Yeah.
Everything we said.
So let's see what happens. Yeah, exactly. Their 11th drive, they could not score a touchdown. So that's disappointing. And the best punt in quite some time for Connor Gardner. He gets an unbelievable roll, and that's going to give him another punt inside the 20-yard line. Let's call it 8. And he's just chipping and putting right now with CG11.
Goodness gracious. What a punt. What was that, about 84 yards?
Unofficially about 66 yards for Connor Gardner, his best punt of the season. And that'll help him get his average right near 40 yards. He was about 35, 36 when the game began. And if we talked about that moon just a little bit here, that moon out on the west side of town.
Beautiful.
Boy, just gorgeous on a fall evening. It's been crisp out here. It's just been a thumping here tonight. Big time football game for the Mountain Lions. So they're going to run a little wildcat action here. Now they still have their quarterback in there. The student body left to McClintock, and McClintock with some speed goes down the sideline, and he'll finally be leveled on the far sideline. 25 there for Red Mountain. Joey Rassiopi there to make the tackle. McClintock, a nice run, unofficially about 15 yards for McClintock. Ball was spotted on the, the 15? No, the 10. And we get a penalty. We'll sort out. So unofficially, we'll go 17 yards on that particular carry. Will it hold up?
I don't know if I got this.
Clock rolling inside 6 minutes to go.
Trying to do a little more than just pointing the camera.
70 to 20.
Like right now, this is a perfect shot in my opinion.
Red Mountain up by 50 here on senior night.
Like feet are blocking the ball, but I can.
And many of the faithful have departed early on this chilly evening. Ball count for the quarterback, Gavin Letourneau. They run a draw. They go up the middle with Victor Sanchez doing a little bobbing and weaving. Will Vanderlinden right there to make the tackle.
Folks still got some leftover Halloween candy from last night, I think, Kev. They got to get home and finish that up, huh?
Did you guys go out for Halloween?
We did. We did the whole trick-or-treating thing over my mother-in-law's neighborhood, and the kids loved it, had a great time, and they were all passed out in the stroller and wagon by about an hour or so, so it was great.
I thought about inviting you over, and I thought, what a haul to get out there for a couple of Snickers. But the thaw was there. The thaw was there.
Well, we would have came up and done the KDB trick-or-treat, I tell you what.
There's another run there by Victor Sanchez, and it looked promising from the outset, but then Nathan Lees and company converge on him and just take him out. We had a pretty good crowd last night at the house. Had to pick up some candy.
You guys typically stay in for Halloween?
I like to go out for Halloween. I don't like to be around. My dog is like, oh man, someone's at the door again, Pops. I know. Trying to get some prep in. We got a triple header this weekend. We got to go. We've got St. Catherine and Randall University at 2 o'clock from the event center on the campus of Arizona Christian University tomorrow night. Letourneau to the air, and making the catch again is Johnny Collier. He caught that one in stride. Collier makes the catch, and he got hit and popped right away. Gross-Klaus right there to make the tackle.
What a beautiful ball that time from Letourneau. Once again, he just threads the needle there into Collier, who was in double coverage, if not triple coverage that time. But what a ball. Great job there for the quarterback.
Pretty pass by Gavin Letourneau. He's approaching 300-yard night. He was having a good evening. And Johnny Collier is well over 100 yards in all-purpose yardage here tonight. Letourneau to the ground. The turn, the give to the tailback, and that is Victor Sanchez. Some recognition for Red Mountain last week. They were on Friday Night Fever. They were the studio team. Saw the fellas, Coach Pete, get a little live action with Coop. And then the boys took their act, to Superstition Springs ball at Chick-fil-A out there, and spent some time with Kevin McCabe on the AZ Preps morning show.
Yeah,
so a lot
great
of love
weekend for those guys last weekend.
for our guys. And then, of course, Jay Willie, Jared Wilson getting some extended love from Kevin McCabe this week with his efforts on and off the field. Letourneau to the end zone, looking for Akins. Ball caught, and Akins will turn around and dive into the end zone for a touchdown. He beat Cody McLaughlin on the play. Letourneau to Wilkins for a 27-yard scoring play. Penalty marker on the play. The preliminary indication is pass interference, but who will it be on? You can't imagine Westwood will get rung up with offensive pass interference trailing 70-20, do you?
This one could go either way. I saw pushing by both guys there right about the 5-yard line. So they're going to call it on Westwood, and indeed it's OPI. Wow.
OPI. Once again, a special thank you and a shout out to our spotter tonight, Kane. We understand Kane is out and about doing the party scene here on this Friday evening, kicking off November in a big way. And we miss you, Kane. And we understand that you've got commitments, but we thought you were going to be here with us tonight.
We hope you come back for the playoffs, because you're a valuable asset to the organization, sir.
Kane, I can tell you right now, I wouldn't come back because the Parker & Sons press box needs gamers up here. We need guys that are going to stick with us for the life of this activity. All right, here we go again. This is McClintock with a stiff arm to the edge, and it looked like 81 came up there and put a pop on him, but Cody McLaughlin was also there defensively. And how about 81, Robert Talamontes, a defensive end at 6', 240, a junior, roaming the defense out there.
Yeah, Talamontes will be back next year and doing a great job there for the Red Mountain defense. There's the Mountain Lion.
Mountain Lion mascot in the stands.
We got to get him up here. We haven't had him up in the booth all year.
From what I gather, he's not a real jovial cat.
He's not.
No
pun intended.
Letourneau with a screen, and he overshoots the wide receiver, the running back that time, Joshua McClintock. I don't even, if you got him up
He's
here.
not even paying attention to us.
If you got him up here, and the mascot's got to be about 5'6", 135 at the most. Nearly just got pushed over.
Is
by
that
the
with
fan.
the suit or without the suit?
Oh, that's soaking wet right there. But I noticed that the young girl in that pink outfit put a hip check into the Mountain Lion right there. And
he almost went for a tumble.
1:22 to go on this one. It is all Red Mountain, and I mean that in every sense of the word. 10 possessions, 10 touchdowns, and they had a punt on the 11th possession. And on that punt, Connor Gardner drilled one for about 66 yards. Mountain Lion showing blitz. They back out of it. Letourneau to the air from the 50. He throws off the back foot. Jump ball far side, and the ball is incomplete. The referee says no goal. Another penalty marker thrown on the field. He threw it into what looked like quadruple coverage. And you wouldn't think that the Mountain Lions would be the beneficiary of 2 offensive pass interference penalties against Westwood.
Almost in a row.
Down by 50, would you?
Well, hey, I credit Westwood. They're still taking shots, right?
They're taking
shots down the field.
Jeremy Knutson, our executive producer here, fine gentleman that he is. We thank you, Jeremy. Quick note for you, Jeremy. We're looking for your buddy Kane. We've had an APB out on Kane, the redheaded man, since about 6 minutes ago in the first quarter. He came here, wrote down 3 plays, and then blitzed out of here. So we've had somebody say they thought they saw him at the Circle K up here on Power. It's just, is he coming back? What's the deal?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, I tell you what, there's a place for folks like Kane, and it's not here in the press box. But we appreciate his effort. We appreciate the start, and we appreciate him having fun at his expense. There's Collier. He'll make the reception around the 8. He'll turn around. He'll tightrope the sideline, and he'll walk in for another touchdown for Johnny Collier, his second touchdown of the night. And Letourneau has done a fine job playing quarterback here for the Westwood Warriors and head coach Kyle Ide.
Well, I got to tell you, Letourneau has been nothing but impressive tonight. The sophomore, as we mentioned, 2 more quality years coming up for him at Westwood. And Coach Ide really has something to build off of with this volatile quarterback.
Well, I mentioned that Westwood, they average 14 points a ball game. Well, they're sitting on 26 right now with a 2-point conversion to go. The lowest scoring team in the league in the 6A conference was Copper Canyon. They scored 6 points in 9 games. That's 0.7 in the point category. Busted play here. Collier wants to throw it towards the end zone. The ball is going to be picked off in the end zone and then dropped. Looks like Edmonds was there, had an interception.
What a great job elevating. He almost hauled that one in, Kev. It came out at the very last second, but
it was
what an effort.
It was 22, excuse me, James. It was Dylan Shaw who nearly picked that ball off. So Mike Peterson wanted to play his seniors, and he got a chance to do so. Special thank you to Deontay Elliott and Hiram Bourne. Those have been my dudes all season long. Thank you, guys. Red Mountain is going to win this game handily, 70-26. And at this point, all you can do is sit back and relax and hope for the best. Whatever the good Lord up above wants this team to do, they will be engaged. They'll be ready to do it. And they'll do it with a lot of fun and passion. Don't forget to listen to the Lions Den this week. We hope to have it out on Wednesday. Chalk Talk, the Parker & Sons Lions Den Varsity Player of the Week. And yes, Josh Sparge up to get the equipment. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Where Red Mountain's going to win the ball game 70-26. They'll win their 7th consecutive game. They are now 9-1. They win the East Valley region for the 3rd consecutive season. And now it's all about the decision for the panelists and the rankings. Will Red Mountain be a part of the Super 8? Only time will tell.
What will the computer say tomorrow morning, Kevin?
Hiram Bourne,
wait and see.
Hiram Bourne, tremendous game for you on senior night. 5 touchdown passes. Jared Wilson, the hat trick, 3 touchdown receptions. Deontay Elliott, a pair of touchdowns for him. Ty McElroy in the end zone. Nas Bryant in the end zone. Josiah Villanueva was close. He might have actually punched one in. These guys are dynamic. Red Mountain has a very explosive offense. They've got work to do defensively, but they're coming.
Yeah, they're coming indeed, and rest assured these coaches will have these guys prepared to play no matter who they have to play next week, or even if they get into the open and then we have that bye week. But these guys will be ready to go. And once again, Hiram Bourne, what an outstanding season for that guy. I mean, let's just talk about all year long. His first year as a varsity starting quarterback, and he just got it done all season.
He was awesome, and he was accurate. He was very accurate tonight. He just put on a show for these fans here on senior night. Offensive line, those dudes were dudes. They were balling. They gave Red Mountain's quarterback a ton of time to throw tonight. They created running lanes for the backs. They were awesome. This is a gifted group. And, James, it's over now. The regular season is over.
Yep.
This team's got unfinished business with some good football teams ahead. And, again, we don't know who we're going to play, but we'll be ready whether it be next Friday night or they get a week off. This Red Mountain football team is poised to make a run here in this second season.
Yeah, they'll be ready, and we will be ready as well, Kevin.
James, I'm going to be there. You want to show up and do that game? Let's do a playoff game together.
Let's do a couple. What do you say?
James, always enjoy it. Thank you, my friend. For
Love it, man.
Outstanding broadcast team and our crew, special thank you to executive producer Jeremy Knutson. For Dr. James Gowdy, head coach Mike Peterson, my broadcast partner James Poovey. I'm Kevin Derryberry. Good night from Red Mountain, where the Mountain Lions crush Westwood 70-26. The second season coming up next. Good night from East Mesa.